Good evening, everybody, live from downtown San Rafael. It is the first night of the 2018 campaign, live on CMCM, your community media center of Marin. Scott Calhoun and his crew are here to bring you tonight's action. Yours truly, Stuart Horn. To my right, my trusty sidekick, Ethan Estrada.
Hi, I'm a sidekick now?
You're my trusty sidekick, yeah.
I like that.
Well, you should. Let's see, a little about Ethan, who I will also refer to as Gio along the way, because that's his real name, plus that's his cool name, and the name of his dad, I might add. So it's always nice to pay homage to your pop.
Yeah, and he's here today. Hopefully he catches a good game.
Yeah, that's right. He's here in the crowd, and we are excited for tonight's baseball on CMCM, the coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. And speaking of the Pacifics, under manager Matt Kavanaugh, the Pacifics 6-4 so far, tied with the Sonoma Stompers. 6-4 for the Stompers. Both teams tied at 6-4 in second place. And why, Ethan, would I bring up the Stompers? Well, because the Stompers are here at Albert Park tonight. The Stompers won it all in 2016. Of course, last year, the Vallejo Admirals won it for the first time ever. And the Pacifics haven't won it now. This will be the third year running. And I can tell you all around the team, the Pacifics want one thing, Ethan, and you know what that is.
The championship.
That's right. Another ring, everybody. And that you're looking at the Pacifics dugout. And there's about 9 million little kids out there throwing out the first pitch representing San Rafael Little League. And we are going to have the first pitch very soon. In the meantime, Ethan and I will bring to you the starting lineups and some information about the Stompers and the Pacifics, as the Pacifics crew is bringing out our ceremonial first pitch, and that's going to be delivered at some point soon by the president of the San Rafael Little League. And Ethan, as you know, I played many years in San Rafael Little League right here at Albert Park, but not on the big field, across the way on the little field.
It's a diamond within a diamond.
Well, that's right. So this is an interesting thing, I guess, if you find it interesting. And that is, I played Little League out there, Pee Wee League. I started at 5 years old on that field and played all the way through high school ball on that field till I got to that point. And then I played slow pitch softball after over 40. So that's kind of been my home, baseball home away from home, and softball. Albert Park's played a huge role in my life, if you can imagine that, and I'm so happy to be here broadcasting tonight's game. The Pacifics 6-4, and the Pacifics, under head coach Matt Kavanaugh, will be sending out Don Andre Clark to lead things off. Clark batting .343 coming into tonight's action. Has 1 home run and 6 driven in. He'll be followed by Rando Moreno, who's going to play shortstop. Moreno, a 1.59 hitter, 7 RBIs. He'll be followed in the 3-hole by Big Jake Taylor, who's DHing tonight. Taylor, who started slow, has been playing great lately, hitting the ball very hard. 1 bomb, 4 driven in. But more impressive after the slow start is he's batting .294. Brent Gillespie, the first baseman, will bat in the cleanup hole, batting .324, 3 bombs and 12 driven in. Javion Randall in the 5-hole. Ethan starting tonight in right field. Randall batting .421, which is just absolutely astounding coming into the 11th game of the season. Zach Files will start tonight at third base, batting 6. A .316 hitter is Files. 3 bombs, 7 driven in, followed by Mike Stoudemire, the left fielder. Stoudemire, .349 hitter with 15 RBIs, and he leads the Pacific squad in RBIs. Batting in the 8-hole is Ricky Gingras, the catcher, a .250 hitter. And rounding things out, Kyle Ulande, batting .190, has 3 RBIs, and he'll start tonight at second base. Clark, Moreno, Taylor, Gillespie, Randall, Files, Stoudemire, Gingras, and Ulande. On the mound for Matt Cavanaugh will be Max Beatty, the ace. 1-1 is Beatty in 11 1/3 innings pitched. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 8.74 ERA in 2 starts. For the visiting Stompers, Zach Pace, the manager for the Stompers. That's right, you heard it. Good old number 24 is Zach Pace, who roamed the outfield for the Pacifics for, let's see, he did it for 5 seasons, won 3 championships, and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Zach Pace, good old number 24, is going to send out Marcus Bradley, the center fielder, to lead things off. Bradley batting .297. He'll be followed by Cam Stewart, a .132 hitter. Stewart starting tonight at third base. Daniel Baptista at first base will bat third, batting .333. 1 home run and 5 driven in. In the cleanup spot, Daniel Comstock, the catcher, batting .325 with 3 bombs and 14 RBIs. Kenny Meimersdorf, the DH in the 5-hole. Meimersdorf, Ethan, batting .429. Funny how DHs always seem to have very high numbers when it comes to batting. Miles Williams in the 6-hole, batting .300, right on the button and starting in right field. 4 home runs, 11 driven in. And in the 7-hole, Eddie Mora Loera, the second baseman, batting .171 with 1 home run and 7 driven in. Batting in the 8-hole is Rob DeAngelis, the left fielder, batting .231, 3 RBIs so far. And rounding things out for Zach Pace and the Stompers, Rayson Romero in the 9-hole, batting .080. Oh. Well, batting .080. Maybe Pace has a feeling about Romero. And this would make a lot of sense. You know, if a guy just needs at-bats because Pace knows in his gut that Romero can hit, I've got to believe that's exactly why he would put him in the lineup batting .080. Your thoughts?
It has to be, and especially when in the sport of baseball and similar sport of softball, the best way to break out of slumps is just to see the ball as much as you can, because the more you see it, eventually you're going to lock in on it, and you're going to be able to hit it harder and farther than what you did before.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. You're listening to the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics and watching them live on cmcm.tv/live. Did I get that right? I think I did. www, that's 3 of them. .cmcm.tv/live, everybody. Of course, you know that if you're hearing me say that. Unless this is relayed somewhere, simulcast somewhere. Next Tuesday, 1 week from tonight, we'll be live on Channel 30, AT&T Channel 99. But Channel 30 here in San Rafael. Tonight streaming on cmcm.tv/live. Well, here we go. We are about ready for baseball. Both teams tied in second place at 6 and 4, Ethan. Both teams, this is a bona fide heavyweight rivalry, much like the Giants and the Dodgers, only bigger. The Stompers, who of course won it year before last, the Stompers were also in the championship game last year against the Vallejo Admirals, who ended up winning it all. And that was at Sonoma, that championship game. And clearly in that game, the Stompers were the favor. So everybody thought the Stompers was going to win. And as it turns out, Vallejo turned up the heat in that final game, got by the Stompers, and got their very first championship trophy.
Gotta love when rivalries play out like that, especially coming off of a bitter defeat in a championship game, coming into a season wanting to prove something. That's exactly what they are. 6 and 4 on the season, second place here in a big game against the Pacifics, because to get leverage in the standings is key in the sport of baseball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so this is the way, fans, that the Pacific Association, from which both of these teams hail, this is how things line up as far as the championship is concerned. There is a winner of the first half of the season and then a winner of the second half of the season. And if those two winners are different teams, then there's a one-game championship for all the marbles. Now, last year, the Sonomas handily took the first half. And at the start of the second half, after about 10 games into the second half, everybody thought, and the Stompers were playing well, everybody thought the Stompers were going to win both sides. In which case, there would be no championship, right, Ethan? But the Vallejo Admirals came on strong, forced the championship game, and ended up winning the championship, and we are now ready for the national anthem. We'll have baseball on the other side. You are watching 2018 San Rafael Pacific's baseball. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, alongside Ethan Estrada, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 Pacifics. We have the national anthem for you right now.
Please welcome back Katie Bauman.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, 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 everybody. As much as I love listening to the national anthem, Ethan, I'm sure you feel the same way. The end of the national anthem always suggests my favorite part of the evening. As much as I love the national anthem, my favorite part is baseball. And I know that's true for you, too. Well, folks, we've gone down the hitting lineup. And just to remind you, for those of you who are keeping score at home, and I'm sure there's a bunch of you, just like Ethan and I, your scorebook is at the ready for the Pacifics, who start in the field tonight. The home team at 6-4. The Pacifics defensively, Stoutinger in left field, Don Andre Clark in center, and Javion Randall over in right. At third base, it'll be Zach Files, Rando Moreno pacing out there at shortstop, ready to get going. Kyle Ulande, the second baseman, and Big Brent Gillespie, good old number 20 over at first base. The return of Ricky Gingras, the veteran, behind the plate. And Max Beatty, the big right-hander. Beatty, the pitcher of the year last year in the Pacific Association. Beatty, the ace of the staff. Ethan, an 8.74 ERA. Early, though, in the season, suggests he's not pitching as well as maybe he should be. What do you think about that?
Well, earlier today I was looking more into like the newer stats coming out, the sabermetrics they're called. And two stats that sounded out to me were batting averaged against. The opposing lineup against Max Beatty on the season is batting .294. And also another stat that I like to look at for pitchers is WHIP, which is walks, hits, innings pitched. So it's basically how many base runners he allows per inning. He's averaging 2 base runners an inning. So not only is he giving up hits, but he's giving up hits and running on base. which is why his ERA is so bloated at this point.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, one bad outing early in the season, and all of a sudden it looks like you're having a terrible time of it. 8.74. That could plummet at any time, the same way it becomes inflated so quickly. The Pacifics, of course, up in Napa were involved in a 13-12 loss, and it's a game like that that can really hurt a pitcher's ERA and make it look like he's not pitching as well as he really is. The big right-hander, Beatty's up on the hill. And the first pitch of the night is delivered to Marcus Bradley. 7:15 is the time of our first pitch, and 79 degrees here at Albert Park. First pitch is taken, and consecutive strikes, and very quickly Bradley is behind in the count. The center fielder, Bradley, batting .297. Max Beatty up on the hill, working very quickly. Left-handed batter is Bradley. Bradley has driven in 4 on the season and chops one back to the screen. Fourth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Again, Ethan, seems to me that Beatty's working very quickly. A breaking ball is swung on and missed. One up, one down, and here comes Cam Stewart.
And I liked what I saw in that at bat from Beatty, because when you look like you're not having a fun time, keep up the pace, attack the hitters, and get the first out. That'll make things so much easier for the rest of the inning.
Number 3, Cam Stewart.
A lot of heat to open up from Beatty to Bradley. Cam Stewart in the 2-hole, swings at a slider. The right-handed batting Stewart. A big hack, but was way over the top of it. Beatty again working very quickly. There's a breaking ball, chopped towards second. In on it is Ulande. Off balance, in time, 2 down.
Kyle Ulande.
I know major leaguers make that play look routine, but as a former second baseman, that play is so hard. I just prayed that I could make that play just once, and it never happened.
That's a good call. It was a great play by the Pacific second baseman, Kyle Ulande. He got it on the short hop, off balance, and just heaved it over to Gillespie perfectly. But you're right. They make it look easy. These guys are pros. 2 down, Daniel Baptista. Oh, this guy's been a thorn in the side of the Pacifics for years. A fastball outside black, taken, strike 1. Beatty's opened up all 3 hitters with a strike first pitch. Breaking ball is hammered in the air to right. On a hop is Randall, and the first hit of the night goes to Daniel Baptista. It's a short hopper over to right. Just got over the head of Ulande at second. Randall brings it in very quickly. Baptista, the runner at first base, and here's Daniel Comstock. Comstock in the 4-hole with 2 down, batting 3 1/4. More impressively, second on the team in home runs with 3. 14 driven in. First pitch, outside gas. First batter, Ethan, that Beatty has delivered a ball on his opening pitch.
I think he saw that home run total and I might stray away from this guy a little bit.
That's a good point. And he humps up a little fastball straight across the knees, 1-1. Comstock looked back to have a quick word with our home plate umpire, Ricardo Rodriguez. I think he might have said, that seemed like the exact same pitch. Breaking ball is fouled up and away. First base side beyond Jane's First Base Cafe. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Daniel Comstock, the 4-hole slugger for Zach Pace's Stompers. Good old number 24, Pace, roamed center field for 5 years for the San Rafaels. Baptista, the runner at first. Comstock, the hitter. Oh, and he caught him on a changeup. And I think Comstock was sitting fastball, Ethan. And he got locked up by a slow breaking changeup. Comstock goes down looking. 1 hit, no runs, no errors. 1 man left as we go to the bottom of the first. For San Rafael, it will be Don Andre Clark, followed by Rando Moreno and Jake Taylor. Your 1, 2, 3 hitters. Bottom of the first coming up. No score on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back, everybody. And welcome back, everybody, to CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. As promised, Don Andre Clark will lead things off. He'll be followed by Rando Moreno and Jake Taylor, the 1, 2, 3 batters for San Rafael. One hit in the top of the first inning, and now the Pacifics have a chance to answer. No score yet, as Tyrell Harris, the big, tall, lanky right-hander, very hard-throwing, low 90s fastball guy, has a slider and a curveball and a wicked changeup. Delivers up and away for ball 1. And there's a little breaking ball that slides across, a little backdoor, slides across the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Rando Moreno is on deck. Harris working quickly like Beatty. First pitch is slashed high up into the sunlight for the Stompers, Rob DeAngelis. The left fielder hauls it in, 1 away.
Yeah, way to got a fastball to start off the at-bat, missed a little bit outside. Watch the breaking ball go down, so you're like, okay, he probably has a little bit more control of that fastball. Got one right down the middle of the plate, just got a little bit ahead of it, and a little bit of a lazy fly ball over to left.
Rando Moreno, first pitch swinging at a fastball, is hammered into deep center field. It's off the base of the wall. Bradley, the center fielder, is up with it. And into second standing is Rando Moreno. First pitch, Ethan.
Yeah,
he absolutely hammers it into deep center field.
Nothing lazy about that laser over center field. Sat on that same fastball just like Clark in the first at-bat. Got one middle, and he did not miss it.
No, he didn't. Here's big Jake Taylor with a man on and a man down. Bottom of the first inning, everybody. 370 to center field. 3:15 down the lines here at Albert Park. The wind blowing over the left field wall. As is usual, the prevailing wind over the left field wall. For years 1, 2, and 3, we affectionately refer to it as a Detweiler wind, named in honor of the brilliant San Rafael slugger Steve Detweiler, who happens to be in the stadium tonight. Haven't seen Det in a couple of years. Of course, good old number 15 was retired a couple of years ago. First pitch swinging by Taylor is grounded through the hole into left field. Taylor is aboard. The Pacifics have consecutive hits. Moreno to third base, and with one down and men at the corners. Here's Brent Gillespie, the 4-hole hitter, Ethan. Couldn't have set it up any better.
Oh, no, you get your cleanup guy in a perfect situation. Runners at the corners and one out, where anything but a ground ball is a good thing right now. Sitting on that first pitch, having a lot of success with those first pitch fastballs.
Defensively for the Stompers, DeAngelis in left, Bradley in center, and Miles Williams over in right. Harris standing tall on the mound. Runners at the corners, Moreno at third, Taylor at first, Gillespie stands in. A breaking ball is taken low, ball 1.
Decided to change things up. Thought sitting fastball first pitch, most likely sees a little floater go outside and lets it go by.
Javion Randall is on deck. Harris takes an extra long look into Comstock, the catcher. There's a fastball stroke down the third base line and out of play. 1-1. Gillespie batting .324. But more impressively, 3 bombs and 12 driven in, and a golden opportunity, Ethan, for Gillespie to pick up his 13th ribby. Tyrell Harris, the big right-hander, delivers a breaking ball, is lazily swung over the top. Just a nasty off-speed, big looping breaker. And Gillespie offered 1 ball, 2 strikes on a .324 hitting cleanup batter, Brent Gillespie. Harris comes home and got him with a high cheese. 2 down.
that at bat, Harris pitched backwards, and it worked better for him. And what that means to pitch backwards is set up your fastball with the breaking stuff instead of setting up the breaking stuff with the fastball, and it worked wonders for him there. Got a couple sliders, curveballs, and changeups over the plate, and blew him away with the high fastball.
Javion Randall. See if he can't get the Pacifics a little sugar right here. Randall batting .421. Right-handed batter. First pitch is cued first base side toward the Budweiser dugout club. Strike one. Zach Files is on deck if Randall does something good. Rando Moreno, the runner at third. Jake Taylor over at first base. Both guys aboard with a couple of base knocks. Breaking ball is stroked right field into no man's land, and nobody can get to it, which is exactly why they call it no man's land. Just between the first baseman and the right fielder and drifting away from the area of play. And no matter how hard the second baseman, Eddie Mora Loera, ran after it, there's no way he could get to it as it just drifted toward the Pacific's bullpen. So everyone will retreat. The count remains 0-2. Fourth pitch of the at-bat coming up to Javion Randall. Defensively for the Sonomas, Cam Stewart at third, Rayson Romero at short, Eddie Mora Loera at second, and Daniel Baptiste at first, with Daniel Comstock behind the plate. Tyrell Harris with that 9.0 ERA comes home. A very high off-speed delivery is taken. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Randall does have 1 home run on the season, but his on-base percentage and hitting is just through the roof at .421, leads the team. And he strokes one towards short. It's going to be a tough play. Scooped up by Romero. Long throw, and he's safe! The hook by Baptista was clean, but the throw was not clean. On the play, Rando Moreno scores. Jake Taylor moves over to second. And Javion Randall picks up his 11th RBI. And here comes Zach Pace to argue with our field umpire, Gary Frieders.
Yeah, from my vantage point, it looked like he was safe. That throw ate up Baptista at first base. That throw, very nasty short hop off the throw. And, of course, .421 is probably aided a little bit by speed because Randall was blazing down the line to get over there to first base.
I think it's because he wears the hose very high, old school style. The single dark blue hose all the way up, and then he wears the pants all the way up like +4s.
Well, I used to wear them like that, and I was slow, so.
Here's Zach Files, everybody. Randall with an infield hit. Files, a left-handed batter, swings at a fastball across the shoulders. RBI number 11 for Javion Randall. So Jake Taylor's at second base, Randall at first, and Files behind in the count, 0-1. Files batting .316, takes up and away, 1-1. Files does have power. In 10 games, 3 bombs and 7 driven in, and he has a man in scoring position. With Jake Taylor at second base, 1-0 San Rafael here in the bottom of the first. Breaking ball is taken away, 2-1. Mike Stoudemire is on deck. Pacifics and the Stompers here in San Rafael, both squads at 6-4 in this early season of 2018. Files stands in, and again up and away, and it's 3-1. And all of a sudden, Ethan Tyrell Harris has no control.
He hasn't really had great control over that fastball all game long. His best fastball was to Gillespie when he struck him out with the letter high fastball. Other than that, it's been middle, or up and away.
Files ahead in the count, 3-1. Taylor away from second. Walked him. Up and away, and everybody moves up. Taylor to third. Javion Randall over to second base. Files at first, courtesy of the walk, and here's Mike Stoudemire. Staudinger. I call him Stoudemire. Well, it's our very first game. I'm a little rusty. My apologies. Staudinger, of course. First pitch is taken high for a ball. Another fastball and no command for the 9.0 ERA, Tyrell Harris.
If I were Harris and Comstock behind the plate, I'd try to pitch backwards. That's what worked against Gillespie and for the strikeout. I try to go.
Open with the breaking ball, then the changeup, and then finished him off with the high hard one. Popped him up. First base side, Baptista over by the Pacific's bullpen. Oh, and he dropped it. He was right under it, and the wind just pushed it. He had the sun in his eyes, and Baptista, who's usually pretty sure-handed over there, was right under it, and it just got by him.
Little stroke of bad luck there for Baptista. Right, the only spot down the first base line where there's sun, the ball's coming directly down, and he loses it.
Especially with Staudinger, who leads the team with RBIs. You cannot make those kinds of mistakes. Or can you? 1-1. Gingras is on deck. Harris comes inside with a fastball. 2-1. Well, it's the first pitch he's gotten down low.
Yeah, nothing really down low. A lot of stuff up and away. A lot of stuff up and away.
Staudinger, left-handed batter, stands in 2-1. 2 down, 2 on. Breaking ball is foul, third base line, and out of play. Out on the Anderson drive. Funny how every little thing in independent baseball you have to consider if you are a small or a large business in this case. Of course, in 2016, the Pacifics were awarded the San Rafael Chamber of Commerce Award for the large business award in town. But every little thing matters. Breaking ball is chopped towards second. This is going to be a tough play. To his knees, Mora Loera on to Baptista. And Mike Staudinger goes down 6 to the chuck it 4 to the covering 3. Well, a couple of runners left, but the Pacifics did manage to eke one across. It's 1-0. And I'll finish my thought on the Pacifics and the things they have to consider cost-wise when you're a business like this that relies on people coming down. And if you're in the area and you want some great family entertainment, well, come on down. If you love baseball, it's a good place to be. We'll be right back, everybody, with a continued coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics right here on CMCM. Well, it's the top of the second inning, everybody, and the Pacifics lead 1-0 against the visiting Sonoma Stompers. Kenny Meimersdorf will lead things off for Sonoma, followed by Miles Williams and Eddie Mora Loera. The first pitch to Kenny Meimersdorf is taken for a strike across the knees.
Tatsubete's been doing great this game. He's really pounding the strike zone, especially with that first pitch.
And it's cued foul off of our home plate umpire. That's Ricardo Rodriguez back there. Rodriguez takes one off the shin guard. And Meimersdorf is behind in the count, 0-2. Beatty with an 8.74 ERA, the big right-hander, comes home a breaking ball away. 1-2. Meimersdorf in the 5-hole, Ethan. The DH tonight, all he's done is batting .429. And a fastball gets him swinging. 1 away.
Once again, Beatty goes up with that fastball, just flat out attacking these hitters right now, and it's working for him.
6 for the Stompers.
Probably figured out something in a bullpen session, decided to bring it into a game, try it out. So far, it's working.
Boy, you're not kidding. After that fastball, got Meimersdorf, of course, Gingras, as is normal, heaves it down to the third baseman. Files, and they go around the horn with it. Miles Williams stands in and takes low and away ball 1. Williams batting .300, right on the button. 4 bombs and a check swing, and he definitely went around 1-1. Eddie Mora Loera is on deck. 1-0 here in the top of the second inning on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Beatty, was a nasty breaking ball. And on the swing, Miles Williams was 3 feet away from the ball at its closest point.
Was expecting the express, and he got the little engine that could.
11 driven in, taken low, 2-2. And I think on that last pitch, Beatty was sort of baiting Miles Williams. See if he would go after something. A little fishing expedition. Mora Loera's on deck, 1 away, and there's that slide piece. Gets him swinging. 2 up, 2 down. The 4th strikeout of 5 batters. Check it, 6 batters.
Batting 7
And here's
for
Eddie Mora Loera.
second baseman.
Hey, how about that? A fan just brought you a bottle of water.
Yeah, good fan. That's my dad. He's my #1 fan.
I'll say. Mora Loera, batting 171, a veteran on the Stompers squad, stands in with 2 down. Bases are empty at this point, and a fastball across the knees is taken. Strike 1. Rob DeAngelis is on deck. Mora Loera batting in the 7 hole. Here's Beatty. Oh, a slider away, a delayed call, 0-2. Very, very delayed call there, Ethan, by Ricardo Rodriguez, the home plate umpire. He had to think about it for a moment. Got him. Got him looking with a fastball. 3 up, 3 down, all strikeouts.
Courtesy of Max Beatty.
And Max Beatty gets it done here in the top of the second inning. Coming up in the bottom of the inning for the San Rafaels will be Ricky Gingras, Kyle Ulande, and then the top of the order back to Don Andre Clark. It's a 1-0 ball game. Bottom 2 coming up right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back, everybody. Second inning here at Albert Park. 1-0 in favor of the home team, the San Rafael Pacifics. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, Ethan Estradi, my trusty sidekick. To my right, your Pacifics telecasters for tonight's affair. Ricky Gingras, his first at-bat of the night, takes a slider across the knees. First strike. Kyle Ulande is on deck, and then we'll go back to the top of the order. Gingras, a .250 hitter, stands in. Breaking ball is swung on and missed. 0-2. Tyrell Harris, big tall right-hander. Here in the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 ball game. Shadows are long, Ethan, at this point across the field. Breaking ball swung on and dropped by Comstock. Running toward first is Gingras. Comstock picks it up, heaves it down to Baptista to complete the strikeout. One away. Here's Kyle Ulande.
Second baseman, number 14, Kyle Ulande.
Ulande, who made that spectacular give and go over at second, the off-balance play back in the first inning from second base. His first at-bat of the night, and he takes a fastball across the knees. Well, Harris is opening almost exclusively with the fastball, but mixing in the slider occasionally, a few miles an hour off, and breaking away from a right-handed batter. And he opens with a fastball to Ulande and follows it up with something a little too high, 1-1. Don Andre Clark is on deck. One away here, bottom two. Fastball. He humped up a little bit, but didn't get the call. 2-1. You're looking at a pretty good view from center field. There on the monitor, taken away. Oh, brother, and that's a called strike. That might have been a makeup pitch, Ethan, and sometimes you'll find home plate umpires who think they may have given the wrong call. They'll make up for it on the subsequent pitch. 2-2. And a breaking ball. And for the first time tonight, Tyrell Harris takes it full. A 9.0 ERA. One away. Here's the payoff, and he got him swinging. 2 down. A lot of strikeouts so far tonight, Ethan. Good pitching duel.
So far, yeah. But both utilizing the fastball a lot lately. Harris starting to use that slider a little bit more. That's what he was missing in that first inning. He didn't have that secondary pitch to be in the back of the hitter's minds. Now he gets strike 2 with it. Now they're thinking, okay, he might go back with it and just flat out heat above the letters, swing and a miss.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of confidence once he can get the ball down. You got to keep the ball down, right? Here's Don Andre Clark. He flew out to left field. His first at bat, he bunts it down the third base line, and the speedy Clark blazes down toward the first base bag, but it trickles foul.
Please welcome Eugene Lopario. Welcome, Eugene.
Where's Eugene Lopario? I heard him announce him. He's one of the Pacific's owners. He's been here since day one. In fact, he's been here before day one. Lopario, I remember back in 2012, Ethan, Lopario and I were painting Jane's First Base Cafe, and back then it was green. Now it's navy blue. So maybe Eugene's painted it again since then. But I was here painting Jane's First Base Cafe with Eugene Lopario back in 2012. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Don Andre Clark, and it's taken right across the belt. 0-2, a fastball. Clark 0 for 1 on the night with Rando Moreno on deck. 2 down here, bottom of the second. 1-0 San Rafael. So far, just a brilliant pitcher's duel. Here's the 0-2. A high breaking ball, and Clark does not offer. 1-2. Fourth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Here on CMCM Community Media Center of Marin's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Our 5th year of coverage of the team. Fastball is very high. 2-2. I think it's our 5th year. Could be our 4th year. This is my 7th year with the team, so this has got to be our 4th year. My first 3 years on radio, then 4 years, my 4th year on television. Moreno is on deck and very high, and all of a sudden Harris can't keep the ball down, just what we were talking about. The sun here at Albert Park is always an issue, and the great Eugene Lopario, who I was just talking about a moment ago, is alongside. There he is, folks. You can see him. He's the guy massaging me right now. And I was just talking, Eugene, about 2012, and you and I were painting Jane's First Base Cafe prior to the first game on June 4th, 2012. This is great. Maybe we'll get you on. Maybe a week. Okay, we'll get Eugene Lopario, one of the owners of the Pacifics, on with us maybe a little later in the game. It is great to see you, my friend. 3-2 now to Don Andre Clark, the speedy center fielder. .343 batter. And he swings at a breaking ball, and all of a sudden, so Harris is, what is it? He's like outhouse to the White House, you know? It's either one or the other. He's just great or he cannot get the ball down. But as it turns out, Don Andre Clark goes down swinging for the third out. And I wanted to revisit one thing that I mentioned back in the first inning. All the little ancillary details and expenses that these teams go through. What do you think, and you may know the answer to this, but what do you think a baseball costs in a professional setting like this? Every single ball that's fouled out of play, somebody has to pay for it, right?
Well, I know for a really good high school baseball is about $3. So I'm guessing around $3 to $5 for a good baseball.
That's a pretty good guess. So $4.15 is what the Pacifics have to pay. Now, the question is, how many balls do they go through in an average game?
Too many.
About 40, right? Because they're fouled off and all over the place in both teams, right? And everybody's fouling the ball all over the place. And so, as it turns out, it costs a pretty penny for these guys for one game in baseballs alone. Forget salaries and all the rest of the stuff that goes along with this. All right, everybody, I just wanted to finish my thought. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back in the top of the third inning, it will be the 8-9-1 hitters for the Stompers. Top three coming up. CMCM's coverage of the 2018 Pacifics. We'll be right back. It's a 1-0 ball game, everybody, in the top of the third inning here at Albert Park between the home team, the San Rafael Pacifics, and the visiting Sonoma Stompers. 3-time champions of the Pacifics. Stompers won it back in 2016. Rob DeAngelis, his first at-bat of the night. In the 8-hole, Beatty delivers a fastball up and away. DeAngelis takes 1-0. Rayson Romero in the 9-hole is waiting in the BMW on-deck circle. Beatty delivers, chopped back toward Beatty off of home plate, and declared foul by Ricardo Rodriguez, the home plate umpire.
For Garen's Auto Body Race.
Found an interesting little stat here.
Well, that's what you're here for.
Yeah, I'm the stat guy today. When the opponents score first, the Sonoma Stompers are 4-2 on the season.
Well, that's an interesting stat. This is fouled out onto Anderson Drive, and just a wicked, nasty fastball that was wickedly and nastily fouled down the third base line. Both. 2-1 to Rob DeAngelis, a .231 hitter. He has 3 driven in. Beatty heaves a breaking ball first base side, and it rolls past Brent Gillespie at first into right field. Javion Randall heaves it back in, and Rob DeAngelis is aboard with a single to lead things off here in the top of the third inning. Rayson Romero batting .080. As Ethan and I discussed in our extensive pregame, we were discussing Romero's .080 and why Zach Pace would have him in the lineup. Well, sometimes you just got to play through a slump. Marcus Bradley, the leadoff batter, is on deck. Beatty heaves over to first base, and diving in safely is DeAngelis. Rob DeAngelis, the runner at first base. Yes, Ethan?
That base hit by DeAngelis broke up a streak of 4 straight batters sent down with their heads between their hands that Beatty sent back to the dugout.
Yeah, that's right. Two looking, two swinging, and then DeAngelis into right field. Romero takes a fastball 1-0. Right-handed batting Romero has 2 RBIs with Bradley on deck. Beatty bent at the waist. Now, again, a quick toss over to first. And again, scurrying back to the bag is DeAngelis. Zach Pace in the third base coach's box continues to flash signs. Pace, one of the veterans of the league, and a curveball is fouled straight back and up over the grandstand into the parking lot. And Ethan, I don't know where you parked, but let's hope it wasn't in the parking lot immediately behind the grandstands, because over the last 7 seasons, I can assure you that plenty of cars, and windshields in particular, have been peppered back there. Of course, quite a few over in right field, and I think that's where you told me you parked.
I did. I parked right behind the scoreboard.
Well, that's living dangerously around these parts. 1-1. Romero stands in. DeAngelis ready to go, and Beatty steps off. And I think that's a good call because DeAngelis is just itching to go. Sonoma always aggressive on the base paths. Lead for Santa Fe is 1. Here, top 3. Nobody out, a man on. A breaking ball is taken for a ball. Romero ahead in the count, 2-1.
DeAngelis so far on the season, no stolen bases. Hasn't even attempted a steal yet.
Well, I can tell you he's thinking about it right now. He's way off the bag over at first, and Beatty's totally preoccupied. This is slashed up the middle, a base hit. And while it was definitely not a hit and run, on the play, DeAngelis was ready to go and was moving. So Rafael Romero, with that 0-8-0, just improved things dramatically. Consecutive base knocks for the Stompers, and now we're back at the top of the order.
Center fielder, Marcus Bradley.
Marcus Bradley, the center fielder, batting .297. He struck out swinging back in the first inning, but now he has Rob DeAngelis at second base, Rafael Romero at first base, nobody out, and a breaking ball is taken across the knees, but called a ball by Ricardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a name I am not familiar with, but seems to have a consistent zone so far. A very similar pitch, and this called a strike, 1-1. Both teams with 3 hits, but only one team got one across the plate. It's the Pacifics, so a 1-0 ball game. Beatty, an extra look back to second, slashed into left. Staudinger comes up with it and gets it in very quickly to Zach Fowles at third. Now the bags are jammed, and here's Cam Stewart. 3 consecutive base knocks, Ethan, as Bradley goes opposite field, but he absolutely slashed it into left. DeAngelis, the runner at third. Rafael Romero at second base. Bradley at first. And Stewart batting .132.
Hey fans, stick around.
And now Nick DeBar wants to go have a quick word with Max Beatty. Nick DeBar, of course, part of the Santa Fe Pacific's rotation the last couple of years. Received a pitching award back in 2016. Is now the full-time pitching coach, no longer a player. And he wants to have a word with the Pacific's ace, Max Beatty. Max Beatty, I should say, not Mac Beatty, but Max Beatty. And the guy you're looking at right now who just slapped Beatty on his upper thigh, well, that's Nick DeBar, who now exits the field. Number 25 you see there is Ricky Gingras. Thank you. Hey, can our director hear us? Is any... Okay, so somebody just came to me who tried to watch the stream, and it says media is offline. Okay. All right. Okay. Is that going to be repaired, or is that how it is tonight? Okay. Stewart takes low and away. 1-1. Well, this is a big moment in the game, Ethan. 1-1. Bases loaded. Top 3. If I were Zach Pace, I would be super aggressive now. Early in the game, an opportunity to blow it open. You got the 3-hole hitter on deck and Daniel Baptiste, who's a total animal. And a breaking ball away, and it's 2-1. And I say that with all due respect. That is a compliment in the highest regard. When a hitter is an animal, you must be afraid of them. You must respect their ability to hit the ball hard. 2-1 delivery, swung over the top of a breaking ball, 2-2. You were going to say something?
I think Max Beaton needs to go back to being aggressive to these hitters. He's kind of shied away from that in this inning, and of course the results have shown that, especially with their big thumper on deck. You have to go after this hitter, get a ground ball or a strikeout to at least get an out before the big guy comes up.
Well, you're right. Beatty is no exception. Pitchers, of course, get nervous in circumstances like this. And now the count is full. And the last thing Beatty wants to do is walk Cam Stewart, a 132 hitter. If I were Beatty, I would not want to walk Cam Stewart because you've got Daniel Baptiste on deck. And he got him looking with a fastball. And Stewart flipped the bat back, started to pull off the protective apparatus from his left elbow. And as it turns out,
For Sonoma,
he struck out looking for the 6th strikeout of the night for Beatty. What's the story? Oh, this is where we're headed?
This is where it's streaming.
Okay.
This one's not.
Got it. All right, everybody, just to clarify, it's cmcm.tv/test. Not as I reported earlier. Chopper to third. Scooped up by Files. On the way to first. The double play!
Oh my.
Daniel Baptiste hits into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. Their bases were loaded with nobody out. And as it turns out, Baptiste hits into the double play, the inning ender, and the Pacifics get out of it unscathed. Good work by Beatty and the Pacifics defensively.
And that's what attacking a hitter does. They put the ball in play. And of course, in baseball, 4 out of 10 at-bats, your most really good hitters get hits. 4 out of 10. So if you attack them, let them put the ball in play, magic can happen.
Well, Baptiste tried to put it in play, and as it turns out, he hit it right to Zach Files at third base, who turned it over to the Kyle Ulande covering second, who heaved it over to Gillespie. And the one thing about Baptiste is he's not that fast. And the Pacifics had plenty of time to turn it. We'll go bottom of the third inning now. It's 1-0 as the score remains here in San Rafael. Rando Moreno, Jake Taylor, Brent Gillespie. Pacifics coming up. CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics continues in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody, to CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We're in the bottom of the third inning where the score is 1-0 San Rafael. The hitter is Rando Moreno from the left side, his second at-bat of the night, and he slashes one up the middle, a base hit. It got on the ground quickly, Ethan, and ran right between the Stompers' Eddie Mora-Loera at second and Rayson Romero at short. Speaking of Rayson Romero, he's the only guy left in the sunlight at shortstop. So Rando Moreno is 2 for 2 on the night, a double and now a single. Well, he's halfway to the cycle.
Nice.
Those are the 2 tough ones to get. Jake Taylor stands in, and Tyrell Harris heaves over to first base, and diving back in safely is Rando Moreno. Stompers, DeAngelis in left, Marcus Bradley in center, and Miles Williams over in right. Here's Jake Taylor batting .294, and another hard toss over to first from Tyrell Harris to the covering Baptista. So clearly, Harris is totally preoccupied with the runner at first, and that's Rando Moreno, who's pretty speedy and taking a pretty healthy lead. Secondary lead is gigantic, and Jake Taylor takes a low strike, 0-1. Taylor, a single, was stranded at third base back in the first inning when Staudinger hit into a 4-3 inning ender. And another throw over to first base. Oh, brother. Moreno dove back in, and that was a good toss over to first and almost got him. Taylor, the DH, batting .294 coming into tonight's action. Takes away 1-1. Brent Gillespie's on deck, everybody. Moreno, the runner at first base. Taylor 1 for 1 on the night. The big slugger wears the hose high. Very high. Curveball in the dirt. Blocked by Comstock. Moreno cannot advance. 2-1. Taylor, the veteran of the Pacific squad, the big slugger, fan favorite. 1 bomb, 4 RBIs, looking for more. Popped him up a mile high, infield. Where is it? Baptista calls for it. And this time, he makes the grab. 1 down.
Got that fastball right where he wanted it. Just got well underneath it because that ball was hit so high up in the air.
You know, you go around to these independent league ballparks, and the light standards are not as high as at the MLB parks. And a pop-up like that, well, I mean, that was a nitro pop-up. It was so high.
That was a big league pop-up.
Yeah, it literally had 4 or 5 seconds of hang time. And it'll get up above the lights. And it'll go from light to dark and then back into the light. Another fast toss over to first. And this time, Moreno really has to dive back in. With 1 down, Brent Gillespie stands in. Gillespie went down swinging back in the first inning, batting .324 in the 4-hole. Curveball up, and this goes off the mast of Comstock and down to second. Goes Moreno. A curveball came right off of the face mask of Daniel Comstock and bounced up the first base line. And before he knew it, the very speedy Rando Moreno made his way to second. No, I was looking for the numbers.
No, I don't have it.
We don't have it. Gillespie ahead in the count 1-0 with Javion Randall on deck. Gillespie, the cleanup batter, has 3 bombs, 12 driven in. Now he has a runner in scoring position. 1 down, 1 on. Bottom of the third, curveball. Gillespie swings right over the top of it.
For Moreno on the season, that is his second stolen base. He had 1 prior to that.
All right. The question is, was it a stolen base or did he advance on the pass ball? Or a wild pitch, as it may be. Because it certainly was a wild pitch. It was in the dirt, and there was no way Comstock. He was lucky to get his body in front of it. It bounced off the front of the plate, that leading edge of the plate, and hit him right in the face mask. There's a good view, everybody. CM's first third base coverage, I should say. Slashed into left field, a base hit. coming around third and scoring is Moreno. Here's the throw on his way. He slides. He's safe. Brent Gillespie delivers an RBI. He ends up at second base after the throw in from DeAngelis was a little late. And it's a tall order to go after Rando Moreno. He's so fast. Moreno scores easily. He did lay down a nice slide. But in hindsight, I think he'd have made it standing. He's so fast. There was no way DeAngelis was going to get to make that play close. And the Pacific's lead 2-0. Here's Javion Randall. Gillespie delivers the RBI, his 13th of the season. And he stands at second base. Randall batting .421 coming into tonight's action. Had an infield hit back in the first with an RBI, his 11th. Randall takes in the dirt.
On the season, that is run scored number 12
1-1.
by Rando Moreno. RBI number 14 for Brent Gillespie.
It says Gillespie's 14th, but the game note showed him only having 12 coming into tonight's action. So good. Gillespie has one that I wasn't aware of. This is slash foul first base side. Right over the head of Nick DeBar in the first base coach's box. DeBar still has cat-like reflexes, and you've got to. You got to get out of the way of that thing because it's coming fast. Of course, Matt Cavanaugh over in the third base coach's box. Javion Randall stands in, taking a low and away. 2-2. Zach Files is on deck. Still just one down with one run in and a runner at second base. Randall looking for more. Curveball in the dirt. Blocked again by Comstock. Boy, he's earning his paycheck tonight, Ethan.
Definitely.
3-2. You know, on that field out there in center field, speaking of catchers, 1976 All-Star game. Yours truly, the catcher, right there on that field, right below that 370 sign. That was a great day. With one down, the count is full. Moreno at second. Moreno's in, and Gillespie is the runner at second. Randall waves at something and fouls it off.
Hey kids, the Prima Kids Zone is now open.
So I was catching, and the bases were loaded, and who comes to the plate but the great Jerry Goff, the father of Jared Goff, who was a year or two older than me, but, you know, there were 3 years that played together. And, of course, he was an all-star. I had to work to make the team. He didn't. Popped him up first base side. Right toward Jane's first base cafe. Ooh, and it goes right into the back of Jane's first base cafe where the barbecues are. And the last I saw, team president and general manager Mike Shapiro, he was back there cooking up some hot dogs. And it went right there. So hopefully Mike Shapiro's okay. Javion Randall. The 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Files on deck, one in, one on, one down. Harris takes a long look in and comes home. Up the middle, right into the grasp of Eddie Moraluer at second. 2 away. Brent Gillespie to third base. So they're going to award Javion Randall
Now batting for your Pacific
sacrifice.
third baseman, Zach
And here's Zach Files. Well, Jerry Goff comes up and slashes one deep into right field. And the throw comes in as he's barreling around third base, and I'm the catcher. And 3 hops right into my glove. This is fouled out onto Anderson Drive, a fastball by Files. And Goff hit me going about 109 miles an hour, twice my size, just as I scooped the ball up. And he sent me all the way into that backstop that we're looking at in deep center field. and I did not hold on to the ball. And to this day, I can still remember the birds fluttering around my head for the following 5 minutes. He hit me so hard. It was a grand slam.
Still feeling it now?
The more I think about it, I think I can feel it. Files stands back in, even in the count 1-1. Man at third, a breaking ball. And a half-hearted hack right over the top of it. He realized about halfway through that swing, there's no way I can hit this. 1-2. Mike Statinger on deck. Tyrell Harris steps off. Gillespie at third. Harris comes home. Ooh, very high. Comstock had to bounce up and out of the crouch. That's how high it was. 2-2. Moreno started it all off here in the bottom of the third with a single and a run scored. Breaking ball got him. Couple of nasties out of Harris, and he makes good work out of it. So Files goes down. 1 run and a runner left. 1 comes in. We go top 4 as the Pacifics lead 2-0. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Daniel Comstock, Kenny Meimersdorf, Miles Williams. 2-0. CMCM's coverage of the San Rafael Pacifics right here at Albert Park. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Pacifics Baseball, where they lead the Sonoma Stompers 2-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. Max Beatty still on the mound, and he is throwing a gem thus far. Got out of a bases-loaded jam back in the top of the 3rd. Got a strikeout and a double play to get out of that one. So now coming up for the Stompers, it'll be Daniel Comstock, Kenny Meimersdorf, and Miles Williams. First pitch of the inning is called a ball, a little bit low and inside. Not in Rodriguez's strike zone. So that's how the inning will come off to a start. Back in the 1st inning was Comstock's first at-bat. He struck out looking. And Beatty will look for a similar result. As the pitch is on its way. And there's a slider over the outside corner, strike 1. Evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Beatty, who came into this game with an 8.74 ERA, pitching well, swing and a miss. Comstock way out in front of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beatty, as I mentioned earlier, had an 8.74 ERA coming into this game, and so far 3 scoreless innings have followed. The pitch. Ball just outside, missed with that fastball. Evens up the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's a ball outside, missed with that breaking ball. The count is now full. Two to nothing, and RBI singles, 2 RBI singles by Gillespie and Randall. The difference in this game, swinging a chopper down the third base line and foul towards the Stompers bullpen. So the count will remain full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Comstock trying to equal his level of play that he's had behind the plate. Behind the plate today, he has been phenomenal, being the backstop for Tyrell Harris, the Stompers starting pitcher. Another ground ball foul into the beach club over there down the third base line. So now 3 balls, 2 strikes. A great at-bat from Comstock so far. As a 3-2, swinging a line drive. Way foul. That had home run distance to it. But it was well out of play. So the count is still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Comstock and Beatty in a good battle right now. As the 3-2 pitch. And ball. Whoa. Must have missed up high. As the home plate umpire, Ricardo Rodriguez, did not like that slider out of the hand of Beatty. So Comstock will lead it off with a walk. And that'll bring up Kenny Mimersdorf.
For Sonoma, designated hitter.
Another strikeout victim of Beatty back in the second inning. So now a runner at first. Traffic on the base paths for Beatty. As the 0-0 pitch is called a strike inside corner. That had the same height level as the slider that was thrown to Comstock, but this time Rodriguez calls it a strike. So no balls, 1 strike to count. Beatty on the rubber as he gets ready to deliver. And the pitch is a ball down low, misses with a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. When Beatty has been on today, he has been on. At one point, he struck out 4 batters in a row. 2 looking, 2 swinging. Trying to find that rhythm again. But with runners on base, it becomes a little bit more difficult as now he steps off. With runners on base, his rhythm has been a little bit wonky so far. Worked out of a tough jam in the last inning and has a 2-run lead to work with. As the 1-1 pitch, swinging popped him up. Way up there, very playable. Files moving over in foul ground, and he'll make the grab for the first out of the inning. So now batting for the Sonoma Stompers will be the right fielder, Miles Williams. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He went down swinging back in the second inning. As Beatty will look for a little bit of help from his defense. And there's a first pitch fastball right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. So no ball, 1 strike. As Beatty trying to keep his scoreless inning streak alive here in the 4th. And the pitch, swinging a foul straight back behind home plate.
Watch out, Judy.
No balls, 2 strikes. Beatty taking a little bit of self-time as now he gets back onto the rubber. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a high chopper to the shortstop, Marrero, and he misplays it, and it'll roll out into center field. But great backup by Ulande over there at second base will keep the runner. Comstock at second. A catcher not really known for their blazing speed can advance on that misplay by Moreno. So now you have first and second.
Second baseman, Eddie Moraloera.
So now you have the number 7 hitter, Eddie Moraloera, the second baseman. He comes up. He struck out looking his first time against Beatty. Beatty. And the pitch. There's a nice breaking ball on the inside corner, but it's called a ball. Beatty not getting the benefit of the doubt from the home plate umpire so far this inning. As the 1-0 pitch, swinging a chopper, backhanded nicely by Files over to first base. Double play on a nice play by Gillespie. The pitcher's best friend gets Beatty out of a jam once again. That will end the inning for the Sonoma Stompers. No hits, no runs, and 2 men left on. That'll do it for the top of the 4th inning. We are, top of the 4th. That'll do it. We will be back after this short break. And welcome back to CMCM's coverage of the San Rafael Pacific's 2018 baseball season. Tyrell Harris still on the mound for the Sonoma Stompers, and coming up will be Mike Staudinger. The first pitch is swinging a hard ground ball. Nice play over there by Mora Loera at second base to catch it on the short hop over to first base for the first out of the inning. One pitch, one out. That's exactly what Harris needed, especially after a rough inning last inning.
Catcher, Ricky Gingras.
So now Ricky Gingras comes up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Struck out swinging on a high heater his last time up. We'll try to avoid the same result, as Harris's first pitch is ball one, down low, fastball. Misses. And Gingras already ahead in the count. That's key for a batter. Get ahead, because then they'll have to come to you. And he misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Harris had one beautiful shutdown inning. That was the second inning where he struck out the side swinging. His stuff was electric that inning, but ever since, he's struggled to find the zone. Not there as he catches the middle of the plate with a breaking ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. So now Gingras will step in. And a chopper foul down the first base line. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harris, as I said before, when he is on, his stuff is electric. That slider has nasty late bite, and his fastball lives by the name. It's fast as he misses up and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gingras works the count full. Trying to make Harris work. And if you know anything about baseball, you know making a pitcher work is a good thing. 3-2 pitch, fouls it out of play, out of the stadium, into the street. It'll remain at 3 balls, 2 strikes. When you make a pitcher work, not only do they get fatigued and make bad pitches, but you get to the bullpen faster. Oh, mistake swing by Gingras. He swings at a fastball in the dirt. Comstock will finish the strikeout to Baptista, and that is out number 2. So Kyle Ulande, the second baseman for the Pacifics, will step up now. Harris with a huge strikeout, because instead of pitching from the stretch with the bottom and the top of the order coming up, you'll have the bases empty and 2 outs. First pitch, lifted foul, back and out of play for strike 1. Ulande, another strikeout victim, as the pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Pacifics and Stompers tied for second place. Of course, the winner would have advantage in the standings. A little bit of bragging rights here in this rivalry, as the pitch is hit foul and off the screen down the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Harris is ready, and here we go. Broken bat. Oh my. Hit it off the end of the bat and rest in pieces. That bat was shattered. Got him way out in front of that breaking ball. Got it off the end of the bat, and it just fell apart. You know, pitchers like to see those. Mariano Rivera has his own broken bat rocking chair. That's how much pitchers love broken bats. So now the 1-2 pitch on its way, and that's a ball in the dirt. Try to go back with that curveball. Missed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Try to get Olande fishing, but he didn't take the bait. And the 2-2 pitch is a ball down and away. Olande, back-to-back great at-bats from Gingras and Olande now, making Harris work. The bullpen starring for the Stompers. And strike 3 called. A little bit low and outside, but nonetheless, Ricardo Rodriguez rings up Olande to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, none left on for the Pacifics. That'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. You are watching CMC TV's live coverage of the San Rafael Pacifics baseball season. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to San Rafael Pacifics baseball, where the Pacifics lead the Stompers 2-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. Ethan Estrada, Stuart Horn, your broadcasters today. As Beatty tries to put up another 0. He has pitched lights out today.
Yeah, he is trying to put up another 0, and he has pitched lights out, and it's nice to see Beatty get a quality start. You know, he started in Napa on the very first day of the season and got smoked. So it's nice to see Beatty, who was the pitcher of the year last year, have a good night.
First pitch to Rob DeAngelis, a ground ball right at Gillespie. He'll take it himself for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Gotta love it.
Now batting for the Stompers. Shortstop.
So now the shortstop, Rayson Romero, will step in. Last time up, base hit. He was a part of that semi-rally against Beatty back in the 3rd inning where they loaded the bases with nobody out, but Beatty was able to wiggle out of another jam. So, Beatty's first pitch. That's a ball. Oh, my. No idea where that pitch missed, but did not hit Ricardo Rodriguez's strike zone, so it's ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Beatty. Shows bunt. Called strike. Evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boy, that angle we have from center field is so pure. That was such a nice fastball, dead across the knees, 0 movement, which is rare. You almost never see a fastball without a little bit of side to side. That was pure.
And the 1-1 misses inside with a changeup. 2 balls, 1 strike. As we've talked about all night, when Beatty is on, it's when he's attacking the hitters. When he is in full-out attack mode is when he's been his best this evening. And he misses there, 3 balls, 1 strike. Beatty would like to pitch without a runner at base, as then he'd have to go to the stretch, and he's looked great from the windup as he pours in strike 2 to make the count full. And the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball. Backhanded at short. Throw across the diamond. What a play! Oh my! Rando Moreno with a major league play. Oh my! Jeter-esque.
Your attention, please.
Ethan, we've seen a couple of great plays tonight. One from Olande back in the first, and now this play out of the Pacific shortstop, Rando Moreno, ranging way right, stabs the backhand, and then just has to absolutely heave a rainbow all the way over to first. A great stretch by Gillespie, and they got him by a quarter of a step, and Zach Pace is out on the field again arguing with Gary Frieders. But Ethan, this would suggest that great plays bring the opposing manager out. So when Zach Pace shows up, you know there was a great play that just happened.
Wow, it looked like seeing Jeter with the 1990s Yankees. That was incredible. What range and what a strong throw.
Off balance, falling away from first base into left field. And Moreno, who's not the biggest dude on the team, but certainly timed it perfectly. What a throw, a spectacular play.
So now the leadoff man for the Stompers, Marcus Bradley, will step in and watches a curveball pour in right down the heart of the plate for strike one. So 2-0 Pacifics, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Swing and a miss. Another beautiful breaking ball from Beatty as he is on tonight.
Boy, it's nice when you're on and you can throw with confidence. Really mix it up when your defense is there to support you this way.
Swing and a miss. Got him. That will end the inning. Another strong inning for Max Beatty. A little help from his defense never hurts. And that will do it for 4.5. We are halfway home here at Albert Park. The score is Pacifics 2, the Stompers nothing. You're watching CMCM TV live coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to San Rafael Pacifics baseball here on CMCM TV. As the Pacifics lead the Stompers 2-0 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Tyrell Harris still on the mound, even though the Stompers bullpen has been active for the last inning and a half. And we are back to the top of the Pacifics lineup with Don Andre Clark. Swinging a foul back, lunged after that breaking ball. No balls, 1 strike.
So you look at the Pacific's lineup, especially tonight. Matt Kavanaugh's alternating between power, speed, all the way up and down the lineup. What a luxury.
That's a curveball, misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. That curveball had some nice life to it.
Well, so I was waiting for you to say something like that. That was, I think, the best curveball he's laid in all night. It just was unhittable.
The 1-1. Fouled way out of play. I even lost track of the ball. That ball was hit so far out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Clark.
So if you're driving up in San Rafael on Anderson Drive right now adjacent to the ballpark, you got to be careful. You don't drive too fast. You might get a ball through the windshield, and then what?
And the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Missed with that slider. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Harris is not living up to his 9 ERA. He has given up a couple of base runners, but has pitched really well in this ball game.
You're absolutely right. The Pacifics have just been tough.
And that's another ball in the dirt. Comstock behind the plate. Boy, has he been a brick wall.
Yeah, he's only had one player advance as a result of a ball that bounced off of him, and that was back in the second when it bounced off of his face mask.
Hard to block a ball when it hits you in the face.
That's right.
And the 3-2 pitch to Clark. Swing and a miss. The Express
Clark
on the outside tracks.
He was so far behind that fastball. I think he was sitting change-up. Because by the time he decided to swing, it was already in the glove of Daniel Comstock, the catcher.
So now here comes Rando Moreno, who helped out his pitcher by producing a web gem in the top half of this inning. And the first pitch, he wasn't even thinking about swinging, and he takes the ball.
Yeah, it was absolutely a highlight reel moment over at shortstop. All Rando Moreno's done tonight, 2 for 2 and 2 runs scored. That's production.
Swing and a miss. Nasty bite to that breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned that Tyrell Harris has thrown a pretty good game. I mean, it's only a 2-run game. It's been an absolute pitcher's duel and moving very quickly.
Nice break on that breaking ball. But with the way Moreno's seeing the ball defensively and offensively, he's not going to go fishing.
That was one of those that broke so hard, I think it threw off the home plate umpire. It was so pure.
The 1-1 pitch from Harris. Swinging a chopper foul. Back towards the Pacific's dugout in this little fan area over here.
Left-handed swinging is Rando Moreno, and I think it came off a home plate, went right between his legs, right through the wicket.
And the 1-2 pitch. Misses outside of that breaking ball. Slipped out of the hand. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah,
Evens up
you're
the
right.
count.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of bite on the big bender, and that one he just let go of a little early. I don't know if it slipped or what happened to it.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball. DeAngelis over and left, camps underneath it, and he'll make the grab for round number 2. First time Moreno's been retired tonight. He's 2 for 3 now on the day.
For a moment, I thought he got it well enough to go opposite field, but as it turned out, Rob DeAngelis came in a few steps in left field and was able to track underneath it for the putout. But just for an instant, the way he's hitting the ball tonight, just for an instant, I thought he may have caught it.
Now Jake Taylor, speaking of hitting one out, hopefully he can do it here. The pitch, swing, ooh, checked his swing. Nice check. That's how you know you're strong, when you can check that swing. So 1 ball, no strikes to Taylor. Harris's pitch is a nice breaking ball, comes back, catches the inside black. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch from Harris. Swing and a miss, another beautiful breaking ball. Just gets underneath the bat of Taylor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harris and Beatty. By the way their ERAs looked, we were expecting a 9-8 ball game. But instead, it's 2-0 Pacifics in what's turned out to be a pretty good pitching duel. As Taylor calls for time. 2-0 Pacifics here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the pitch from Harris is upstairs for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jake Taylor. And a 2-0 pitch. And he got him looking. Taylor having some words with the home plate umpire, Ricardo Rodriguez. One's looking up, the other one's looking down, but nonetheless, only one opinion counts, and it's strike 3. So that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down, no hits, no runs, nobody left on. At the end of 5, the score is Pacifics 2, Stompers nothing. You are watching live coverage of the San Rafael Pacifics 2018 season here on CMCM TV. We'll be back after this.
Going to lead things off for the Pacifics. 2-0 San Rafael. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, to my right, my trusty sidekick, Ethan Estrada, with you tonight. A perfect night for baseball. Boy, if you love baseball, no place better than right here. It's about 70 degrees right now, downtown San Rafael. Pacific's baseball, live on CMCM. This is great stuff, everybody. Max Beatty back out on the hill for another inning of work. We're in the 6th. Top 6, in fact. It's 2-0. Pretty nice graphics there. Brought to you by CMCM in your top left.
Ooh.
Big breaking ball. Falls just out of the strike zone, Ethan, as it got past the hitter. Who's Cam Stewart? 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out looking back in the 3rd. Slashes one up the middle, a base hit. Just roped a fastball straight up the middle. Cam Stewart's aboard. Beatty with that 8.74 ERA. Halfway through the game, looking pretty good, Ethan, but he can't rest on his laurels. He's going to have to dig deep. The Stompers didn't win the championship in 2016 for nothing. There's a lot of the same players. And Daniel Baptista, the batter now, is no exception. He was on that championship team. Soft toss over to first base, and Cam Stewart is back. Nobody out here. Top 6, 2-0 San Rafael. Both pitchers very stingy so far. Comstock, the 4-hitter, is on deck. Baptista, a 333 hitter, takes a changeup. 1-0.
And he has the power to tie this game with one swing of the bat.
You're right. He only has 1 home run so far this year in 10 games, but he is very capable. And there's no wind, and it's warm, and the ball is jumping all over the place tonight. Although we still are awaiting the arrival of our first bomb tonight. This is a breaking ball is fouled out on Anderson Drive on the third base side. 1-1. 2 runs on 5 hits for the San Rafaels. No runs on 6 hits for the Stompers. Baptista, 1 for 2 tonight. A single. And back in the first, he was able to turn on a breaking ball and slashed it between first and second. But was stranded when things ended there on the strikeout by Daniel Comstock. A breaking ball is taken by the big slugger, Daniel Baptista. Baptista batting .333, 1 bomb, 5 driven in. He's got Cam Stewart at first base, nobody out, 2-2. Comstock is on deck. Max Beatty looks out of the corner of his left eye. A breaking ball, long fly ball, deep center. Backing up is Don Andre Clark. At the base of the wall, he hauls it in. And Baptista with a dramatic out. Here in the 6th, 1 away. Speaking of dramatic,
Number 6, Daniel.
one of the most dramatic guys at the ballpark at any given moment is Pacific's owner, Eugene Lupario, one of my pals from way back in 2012. That's when we met. Eugene is in the broadcast booth, the CMCM broadcast booth, as we speak. Welcome, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me, Stu. It's good seeing you, and I have enjoyed listening to you over the last couple of days.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I've been on with Forrest a couple of times. And what do you think of that, Forrest, over on PacificsBaseball.com broadcasting?
It's all good. I was listening to your broadcast on Saturday as I was driving back from Tahoe, and you were reminiscing about the 2012 season, and all sorts of good memories came to mind.
Ain't it the truth? Long fly ball, but Don Andre Clark is there in center, and he hauls it in, and there are 2 away. Cam Stewart still at first base. Yeah, there are very few guys. I was talking to Zach Pace before the game, and Steve Detweiler's here, the big slugger, and, the hometown hero. That opening night, June 4th of 2012, and Pace and I were talking about it. Det and I were talking about it. That opening night was such a big night. And look who else is here. Mike Shapiro's here. The whole Pacific's family.
It's a reunion.
It really is. I wish we had another Mike. I got to get Mike on the mic as the Pacific's Max Beatty heaves a fastball in there.
Well,
one ball, no strikes to Daniel Comstock with one down. Check it. Kenny Mimmersdorf. Comstock went down that fly ball to center. You were saying?
Well, we were listening to the broadcast on Saturday, and you were talking about the different managers with Lacoste coming in.
Oh, that was the Lacoste discussion.
Yeah.
Buffy.
And I actually tried tweeting the answer to your trivia question, and my answer did not come across because I would have won.
Is that right? As I recall, Hope Paget tweeted in the proper answer, which, of course, was Buffy, and she won a Pacific's ticket. And you don't need a ticket because you're one of the owners, so you get in anyway.
I would have taken the ticket.
Mimmersdorf stands in. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A strikeout, a pop-up back in the fourth. One runner on, 2 down. It's a 2-0 ball game. Oh, and he takes a breaking ball just on the outside black. Called a strike. It's 2-1. So you weren't here on opening day. I missed you.
I was not here opening day. The first one I've missed in the 7 illustrious opening days seasons that we've had so far. So
I do love talking Pacific's history. It's starting to become deep and rich in the dirt, but blocked beautifully by Ricky Gingras, and it's 2-2.
And there's been some really good stories, some great personalities associated with this ball club, some just really fun fan favorites, and of course there's been all sorts of drama over the last 6.5 years now, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, admittedly, there's been just so many great people that have stepped onto this ballpark, and Stu, you being one of them, I might add. I mean,
Wow.
you are part of the history of this ball club, and so it's kind of an honor for me to sit with you.
Come on, that means a lot to me. You don't even know. I love the Pacifics, and I just love everything about it. Long fly ball, deep left field. Backing up Staudinger at the wall. Out of here. Tie game. 2-2 as Mimmersdorf goes deep, and that was a no-doubter, Eugene Lopario.
Yeah, that guy hit that ball well. Wow, that thing was smoke from the word go, and our left fielder just watched it sail.
Holy cow. Staudinger out there in left. You're right. He barely moved. There was no question. Mimmersdorf turned on a breaking ball and creamed it just short of the tennis courts out there in left field. One of the cool things about Albert Park, you've got tennis courts out there in left, and you've got Albert Park Lane over to the right where cars are literally lined up. And you remember over the years, every once in a while a car gets whacked over there. So we say don't park on Albert Park Lane on a night that the Pacifics are playing.
Yeah, I like to think that we don't hit cars with foul balls, fly balls, and home run balls, but it happens
I would like
sometimes.
to think that too.
So if you're parking over there, park carefully.
And there's one fouled into the parking lot as Miles Williams just about caught it. Williams 0 for 2 on the night, a strikeout. He reached back in the fourth, an error on the Pacific's shortstop, Rando Moreno, and Moreno doesn't have too many errors to begin with. Williams batting .300, and now that number just went up a little bit as he lines one between Files at third and Moreno at short for a base hit. So I haven't seen you since the end of last season, and it seems like a lot of good stuff is happening with the Pacifics. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many fun things happening here. Our promotional calendar is probably the best that we've had in the 7 years. The players are the caliber that we've always wanted and hoped for. We've got fantastic guys, not only great guys on the field, but the personalities in the clubhouse are just extraordinary. And anybody that's got a chance to come out to a game and visit with some of these players afterward, you'll really, really enjoy it. The guys are great. They're super fun. They're wanting to chat with our fans and get to know our fans, and it's going to be an extraordinary year. We're excited about it.
Great combo when they want to interact with the fans and they want to win.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, everybody's talking about Howell and the newest member of the Pacifics, and that guy's good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He is one of the better players that we've ever signed. Pleasure of having served on the Hill, and as good as he is on the field, one could argue that he's even better in the clubhouse and even better still with the fans. And so I would encourage everybody to come out, get an autograph, get a chance to meet with him. He's just super fun and just a really, really wonderful personality on the club.
A bona fide big leaguer, Howell. In fact, he'll be pitching tomorrow,
Yeah,
I believe.
Yep, I think he's got his rotation tomorrow.
Beatty delivers a fastball now to Eddie Mora Loera, 0 for 2 on the night. Loera struck out to end things, looking in the second, and then chopped one over to the sure-handed Zach Files at third base to end things in the fourth. 1 down, 2 runs in. It's a tie ball game, 2 apiece in this pitcher's duel as Eddie Mora Loera takes low and away, 1-1. Rob DeAngelis is on deck. Our guest here in the telecast booth, the CMCM telecast booth, is Pacific's owner, Eugene Lopario, as Eddie Mora Loera waved at an off-speed delivery, and that was funky.
I think the guys are having fun with some of this stuff.
Mora Loera is batting 171. 1 bomb, 7 driven in coming into tonight's action. And there's a little slide piece taken, 2-2. 2 down, 2 in. Here in the top of the 6th inning, DeAngelis is on deck. Kim McGinnis is here in the CMCM telecast booth as well, making note to Eugene. Some very heady business going on here, no doubt. Breaking ball in the dirt is blocked nicely.
And Kim is our vice president of marketing and sales, and she is all over the place all of the time. And she's one of the gals here that just makes this thing happen. So.
Absolutely. If you go to the front office, she's going to be there to help you out in all kinds of different ways. 3-2 now. This is a big moment in the game. Mora Loera, the batter. Miles Williams, a runner over at first base. 2 in and 2 down. Beatty's got to get out of it. Line drive into right. Coming in on it and making the grab is Javion Randall. And Beatty gets out of it. We're going to stay right here to the director of CMCM downstairs with our guest, Eugene Lopario. So Forrest and I were talking. Of course, Forrest wasn't here in 2012, but it's so fun to talk to guys like Detweiler and Pace, and now you and Mike Shapiro, and a few other people that are around, but no players left from those original squads. In fact, last year, there was none of the original players.
No, I mean, and we had some guys that signed early with us, guys like Johnny Woodard and Chase Fontaine, who came from the Braves organization, and these guys stayed with us quite a while, and they were really fun and super fun personalities to get to know, and they became fan favorites, and now now it's kind of the next generation.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It's like Pacific's 2.0.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I would argue that these guys are just as much fun, and they'll be part of the history and the lore and all that good stuff going forward. So we're excited about the group that we've got here. And Stu, let me tell you, I will talk Pacific's lore and history with you all day long because I love it just as much as you do, and it's just a ton of fun, and so many great memories have been built here around Albert Park.
Earlier in the telecast, I was talking to my sidekick, who is a student of mine over at Dominican, Ethan, who's like Forrest, a budding broadcaster, and pretty darn good at what he does, about having played in the 1976 Santa Fe Little League All-Star Game on that field in center field. And, here it is, right?
Yeah, full circle, right?
And then this side of the field is so much a part of my adult life with you guys. And I feel very fortunate to have met you guys. And then, you guys really took me in, brought me in, took me under your wing. And we're all pals now. And I was earlier tonight talking about how you and I painted Jane's First Base Cafe in 2012.
Right, these are
before
the days.
The very first game. We were painting it green, but now it's dark blue.
Yeah, these are the days. I mean, this is how you build a community-based baseball program. I mean, and these are the things that you do. And so it's been a ton of fun, and getting to know you and so many of the other people that have been part of this organization to make it work, because no one person is the team, right? It's a community-based program, and there's lots and lots of people that we talked about Kim McGinnis a moment ago.
Yeah.
And Steve Detweiler, a player. And so many of these people enrich this program to make it what it is. And it is super exciting. And I love the fact that we still have some of the guys from yesteryear, like you, and me, I guess.
Yeah,
here.
For sure.
And we make it work, and it's just a ton of fun. I mean, it really is. It's a wonderful way to spend an evening.
Yeah, it really is. And you get a night like tonight where it's still 70 degrees out here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning where it's a 2-2 ball game, and the Pacific's are at the plate. Brent Gillespie, the 4-hole hitter, batting .324 coming into tonight's action. He does have an RBI back in the third inning. That was his 13th of the season. 3 bombs with Javion Randall on deck. In the dirt, and it's 1-1. Yeah, there's something about an organization that you start with, and now you've gotten to the point where you actually have bona fide history. You could talk about stuff, the very first night, the first home runs. Remember Detweiler hit two that night?
Who would forget that?
Yeah,
right?
the hometown hero, the slugger. He was kind of still fresh off of the big win in the College World Series where he was the hero. He goes 4 for 4 that night, catches the final out. I mean, really.
Well, you talk about those tennis courts out in left field, and I think he hit one of them on that night. And that was not only a memorable night for him and his family to be a part of that, but for all of us to watch that and have that hometown hero really bring it home. I mean, that was just a fabulous, fabulous night. And while it was almost 7 years ago, we remember it like it was yesterday.
Absolutely. You couldn't have scripted that any better, to have the hometown kid, the very first Pacific ever signed by the team. I went to that press conference at San Rafael High with his dad, and he was there, of course, and I think his attorney was there, and he signed the contract in the gym at San Rafael High where his name hangs on a banner.
Well, do you remember how we found him? So let me fill in the blanks here, because
long fly ball right field, but foul to Javion Randall, and he's behind in the count 0-1. Please, I can't believe I don't know this story.
So Det was working selling shoes at Macy's up here in San Rafael, and we had heard that he was kind of between trying to figure out what he was going to do next. And we had set up a kiosk to advertise the team because it was in 2011. It was it was kind of the off season before the first season.
I bought this sweater at that kiosk.
There you go. And it's still handsome on you, I might add.
Thank you. It feels good. Curve ball is check swing, and it's called a strike by our home plate umpire, Ricardo Rodriguez. Behind in the count, Javion Randall with Zach Files on deck. It's 0-2. So Det's selling shoes up at Northgate Mall.
He's up at Northgate Mall, and we learn that he's there. And we know his history. We know who he is.
Right.
And we're on a search. And so we went to Macy's, and we asked the manager, is Steve Detweiler working today? And sure enough, he was. And so we connected with him, and we sat him down, and we asked him if he'd be part of our program.
Did you ask the manager how much he's paying Detweiler?
I'm not sure the manager was involved in the negotiations.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was trying to save a fan.
I think you did. No, we did not talk to the manager about his income, but we did talk to Det that night, and it was not very long thereafter that he signed our first contract, and we could not have been more excited about having a hometown hero, a Fresno State guy, sign on with the Pacifics.
Gillespie, the runner at first. Javion Randall is the batter. 1-2 count. Eugene Lopario, the owner of the Pacifics, is here. And this is a breaking ball in the dirt, and it gets by Comstock. And that allows Gillespie down to second. Boy, it just popped right off the front of the plate over his head, and Comstock had no idea where the ball was. Well, Detweiler must – now, I've never heard this story. And it's a great one. And it's nice that you bring up Det because he's here tonight. I haven't seen him in 4 or 5 years.
Oh, jeez.
And he came up and knocked me on the shoulder, kind of like you did. And I went and talked to him. I saw he has a little boy.
Yeah, he's married.
Easton.
He's married. He's got a little boy. I think Easton is now 2.5. So he's on to another chapter in his life, and he's just living the dream. He's doing great.
Certainly one of the greats in Pacific history. The fastball is chopped over towards second, scooped up by Eddie Mora Loera. 2 away. Gillespie to third base. Pardon me, 1 away. Gillespie to third base, and here's Zach Files.
Now batting for your Pacifics, number 18.
So Javion Randall goes down 4-3, another off-balance gem. Files on the evening is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout.
Yeah, so Det is one of those remarkable, fun stories to talk about. We'll always remember him and his signing and his first game, his first season, and of course he played with us for several years thereafter. But he is part of the he's one of the pillars of this team.
Absolutely right. Zach Files stands in. A fastball is straight back to the screen. You know, one thing I've never asked you: how did you get involved in this whole thing? I think I met you when we were actually working on the park. Once the papers had been signed by the city, yes, we're going to have baseball. Now we got to clean up the park. Right. That's about the time I ran into you.
Yeah, so I got involved a little bit before then in that the principal owner in 2011 who really had the idea was a guy by the name of Brian Clark. And Brian had consulted with Mike and hired Mike Shapiro, our general manager and president. And they were working hard on putting a program together, putting a team here in San Rafael. And Mike is a longtime friend of mine. In fact,
hammered up the first base line, and a fair ball right over the top of the bag by Zach Files, who turns first on his way to second. Here's a throw. He's live. He's out. Files with a double and an RBI. How about that?
That's a great hit, great run.
Right
nice
up,
RBI.
right over the bag at first, and there was absolutely no way that Baptista could get to it. Now, I remember Brian Clark. He's the guy who brought me in.
Yeah, that's right. And so Brian and I met because of Mike and my relationship with Mikey. And Mike and I used to coach together in Little League. And so he's back in town. And, we got talking. And what are you doing? And he told me and asked me if I wanted to get involved in it. And I did. And Brian and I hit it off. And one thing led to another. And then when Brian decided to, move back home to Baltimore, he asked me if I was interested in taking over. And of course, I, without hesitation said, absolutely, we're not letting this thing go anywhere. This is a great community asset and, very proud and excited about it. And so we put an ownership group together and, I kind of headed that thing up with Mike and my business partner, Steve Allen. And so we kind of embarked after the first season and, I guess it was about November 2012. We worked out some deal with Brian, and he moved back to Baltimore with his young family, and off he went. And so we just kind of took over and have tried to do what Brian had envisioned, which was really to build community-based baseball.
Well, you really have, because if you look at the last 6 seasons, we're now in the 7th year. We're now up to 6 teams. The teams themselves have settled. Remember, years 1 and 2, we had the Hawaii All-Stars, the Maui Nikoi Kaika, the expenses incurred by flying back and forth. It was a nightmare.
Stu, if you want me to stay in the booth, we're not going to have to talk about these expenses like that because it brings back mad memories.
Right, now things have settled down, and you guys are, what I love is what you just talked about, and that is the community piece. And you really have, you guys mean it, and you've proven it, that you do this for many reasons, I'm sure, but nowhere near the top is the money. It's about the community first. You have young children, isn't that right?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys, John, who just graduated from the University of Colorado, and Andrew, my younger, just finished his first year at University of Wisconsin in Madison. So, my kids, I'll tell you, one of the most endearing things that I've experienced in this opportunity is that my kids got their first real job working here at Albert Park, supporting the Pacifics.
I was going to say, I remember them playing Little League.
Yeah, they played Little League here locally, and then they had an opportunity to be ushers and concessionaires here at the ballpark, and now and they've learned from it and grown from it, and it's been great. And you're right, nobody gets into this business thinking they're gonna, you don't do this to get rich. That's not what this program is about. This is about supporting your community and giving your neighbors, your family, your friends an opportunity to spend some time together and enjoy a cold beverage and a hot dog and all the while watch some really good baseball on the diamond.
So Pacifics fans, the hardcore ones, won another championship. We won 3
yeah.
in the last 6 years. But I asked Mike Shapiro this question a couple months ago. Did the numbers get better years subsequent to a championship? And the answer was no.
When you say do the numbers get better?
Yeah, the bottom line numbers.
Yeah, we look at that, obviously. We're always concerned about, breaking even and
sure.
All of that good stuff. But we are not really focused on end-of-year results so much as we are focused on a daily event, right? So we've got 40 home games plus an exhibition game, and we look at these events as individual. We want to put on 40 great events for our fans and the community. That's our goal. And we think we've assembled one of the finest teams in the league. We've got some great kids playing for us. And so come on out, enjoy a game, enjoy the beautiful setting here at Albert Park. It's a real treat. It really is a treat.
Well, you're not kidding, and you guys have done it right, and the community does appreciate it. I know as a member of the community, I certainly do. I just love being a part of the whole thing. 7 years later, here I am. And as it's grown, the community-based piece, here's Community Center of Marin. We're here. This is our 4th season doing the television thing. It continues to grow in that capacity.
Well,
as
Stu,
a community partner.
Stu, you're going to be on a trivia card one day,
You
right?
got that right.
Somebody's going to talk about that.
Stodinger stands in and is ahead in the count 1-0 after fastball.
So what's the question they're going to ask about Stu? Is it going to be, who is the guy that wears a tuxedo every opening day?
Well, and for Pacifics fans, that would be, I guess, an obvious question. But when you go into baseball history, there was a time when all the guys wore tuxedos on opening day. It wasn't that long ago when that tradition stopped. I would say maybe who was the original radio broadcaster.
There you go. I like that.
I do too.
That's good stuff.
Who was there when Mike Shapiro was arguing to the city council that the Pacific should happen, and watching the videotape afterward, he realized his fly was down the whole time? I love that story. And he's happy to tell it. When he watched the videotape back, I was sitting right next to him.
Oh, man. Well, and I remember some of those community, kind of activism. We would go to these community events, and kids from all over the place would dress up as hot dogs.
Remember that? And popcorn.
I was going to say bags of popcorn.
Yeah.
And
holding up the signs out on Fifth Avenue or Mission saying, we need baseball here in San Rafael.
Right.
Because there was some of the community was against it, believe it or not.
Yeah, and it turns out there was a small cadre of maybe half a dozen folks that made quite a bit of noise in 2011.
I sure did.
And into 2012. And I'm not only happy to say that we prevailed, but I'm even happier, I suppose, to say that those small cadre of folks are now fans.
Ricky Gingras stands in with runners at the corners, a check swing, and an appeal out to Gary Frieders in the field. He says no swing. 3-0.
But those kids in the dressed up as the hot dogs and whatnot.
Boy, you knew you were onto something when you drove in. There's 100 people standing there and a bunch of kids dressed like stadium food.
Well,
I knew we were onto something.
And that's why we do this. I mean, right? And so this is about that.
You think about those kids are now adults.
Yeah.
A bunch of them are, because they were in that 14, 15 range. They're probably just finishing up college now.
Yep. And some of them younger.
And remembering that.
And I will tell you this: not only are some of those kids were they younger then, but they're now working for us in our snack shop with Jane Shapiro, Mike's wife, who heads up all of our concessions. She handles all of the food delivery, and many of these kids work for Jane, and it's a delight to see those kids grow and develop and earn a paycheck. And there's a sense of responsibility and gratification from me to see all of that happen. It's like this great evolution, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. It's just a really neat experience.
Well,
sure.
You're a great spokesman, and every time they gravitate toward you. They love to talk to you, and I think you're a huge part of the success of this team. That's for sure. And you and Mike and Kim are the kind of the faces of the operation. But real quickly, who is Leslie Lava? I just met her the other night.
Yeah, Leslie. So over the years, we've incorporated a couple of new folks to our ownership group, and so our partnership has grown. I mentioned Mike and Steve Allen, myself, kind of started it. We took it over from Brian in 2012, and then in the years subsequent, Stephanie Plant, Brian Sobel had always been a part of what we've been doing here. But so Stephanie got involved, and then fast forward to last summer, Leslie, who is a Tiburon resident, wanted to get involved. And so she expressed a lot of interest. She's a huge baseball fan, having grown up in the shadows of Wrigley Stadium in Chicago. And so we were excited to incorporate Leslie into our partnership. And then more recently, Leonard Weigarten, who is a San Rafael resident. He'd been teaching over at Berkeley, some sports management theory classes and whatnot. Most recently, been working for the Chamber of Commerce here in San Rafael, and he wanted to get involved in what we're doing here. And so we just thought these two people would just be ideal partners and would really round out the partnership group. And it's been a lot of fun having Leslie and Leonard as a part of what we're doing here to share the joy with Brian and Steve, Mike, myself, and Stephanie. It's been really, really wonderful.
There is a lot of joy when you're talking Pacifics. And if you are watching here on cmcm.tv/test, you can see there's another mound change. And as we've been talking to Pacific's owner Eugene Lopario, Zach Wendorf has come and gone. He came in, he walked two in Stoudinger and Ricky Gingras, and now he's being replaced, and we'll find out by whom momentarily. But, you know, it is joyful. You get a night like tonight where it's still 70 degrees out here, no wind, lots of people. It's baseball in an absolute pitcher's duel. It's, 3-2. And it's just a great night to be a baseball fan.
Yeah, this is why we play the game, right? So these are the games that you just love. On a perfect night like tonight here in San Rafael, it just doesn't get a whole lot better than this. It's a lot of fun to be here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in now for the Stompers, the third pitcher of the evening is Vijay Patel, who's a big right-hander with a 2.07 ERA. Did you play Little League?
I did. I grew up in Connecticut. In fact, I grew up in the town neighboring Mike Shapiro. He grew up in a town called Westport, and I grew up in a small town called Easton, Connecticut, in Fairfield County.
Easton?
And I didn't know Mike growing up as a kid. And in fact, it wasn't until we were in California back in the early 90s that our paths connected, and we connected the dots. We were coaching Little League. And I guess it was serendipitous that our lives just kind of intersected the way they did. But back in Connecticut, I played I did the Little League thing as a player and all. And then when I moved out to California and I had kids, I had an opportunity to coach my kids in Little League, and that was a lot of fun. And that's actually where I met Mike, was on the baseball diamond with Little League.
How about bringing this full circle? We started the conversation talking about the hometown slugger Steve Detweiler, who just had a kid a year ago, and he named him Easton.
Right? Isn't that great? Well, maybe there'll be a day, Stu, where we're talking about Easton in the Pacific's uniform and lineup and seeing what he does.
Now,
right?
that would be full circle.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and as I'm sitting there, when I met, I was standing out front getting the lineups, I met Easton, and I said, "How you doing, buddy?" And Steve says, "This is your Uncle Stu." And the first words Easton says is "ba-ba." And I said, "What does that mean?" And Steve said, "It means baseball." Of course he does.
Isn't that perfect?
It was just perfect. So much has happened like that around the Pacifics, and it just continues to happen. Here's Kyle Ulande against the new pitchers for the Stompers, who is Vijay Patel. And the first pitch to Comstock gets away from him, but Comstock stays with it and unable to score on the play. From third base is Zach Files. At second is Stoudinger. At first is Gingras, and Ulande stands in ahead in the count. 1-0.
Well, it's funny. We talk about all the history and all the fun stories and whatnot here at the ballpark, but, it's never too late to get involved in this, and it's a program that welcomes all, and I would just encourage everybody to come out to the ballpark and enjoy it, because it just doesn't take long to fall in love with what's going on here.
Fastball is high, and Ulande walks down to first, and that scores another run. That's an RBI for Ulande. Zach Files comes in, and now it's 4-2 San Rafael. Bags continue to be jammed. They remain jammed, I should say. And here is the leadoff batter, Don Andre Clark. Hey, I like Clark. A new guy with the Pacifics, first-year guy. Really like his game, love his attitude.
Yeah, and he, like so many of the others, just wonderful in the clubhouse. And Mike and I spend a lot of time talking about skill sets and opportunities that they can present on the ball field. But so much of what we look for too is, how are they in the clubhouse?
Bases loaded one away. Don Andre Clark waves at a
Well,
blistering fastball behind the count, 0-1.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
okay.
and Clark is just a fabulous personality, just a lot of fun to be with, and the energy just kind of oozes. And, again, kind of like Howell, you just want to hang out with some of these guys.
That's a good call. It's not easy to play center field anywhere. Oh, and he slashes one on a rope, shallow left. It falls in front of DeAngelis. Scoring on the play is Stottinger. And right behind him is Gingras. Oh, Gingras held up at third. All right, the Pacifics score 1 on the play. Clark with an RBI single to left. Boy, he just slashed it out there opposite field against V.J. Patel. An RBI for Clark. Here's Rando Moreno. Moreno, 2 for 3 on the night with a couple runs scored. A double in the first, a single in the third. Hit the ball very hard to left field in the fifth. Moreno, a left-handed batter, stands in with the bases loaded, still just 1 out. 3 runs in here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Pacifics.
One of the other fun things that, we've talked only a little bit about, Stu, is, the development of some of the other teams that have now joined the league, which is really, really exciting for us and all of our fans to see Martinez come onto the mat.
Very high with a breaking ball. Moreno takes. Well, I know it was a dream initially of Brian Clark, and then subsequently you guys have talked about it many times over the years, expanding the league, and here we are. You're up to 6 teams, adding 2 teams this year.
Yeah, and that's a feat. That's hard to do.
Patel delivers a fastball, and it's fouled out onto Anderson Drive, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, and you go through a lot of stuff in terms of trying to identify, places that others can bring teams, and then having the right ownership groups to support those teams, and it's a lot of work. And I am so proud and happy that we've got these 2 wonderful ownership groups that are now part of the league.
Yeah, you must be. There's a slider, and Moreno swings right over the top of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes with Jake Taylor on deck. 3 in, 3 on, 1 away. Bottom 6. 2-hole hitter, Moreno batting 159. Left-handed batter standing. He's having a good night so far. And he waves at a slider, and he's gone on strikes. 2 down. Yeah, I got to believe you guys feel a lot of gratification in seeing many players moving up. A lot of players stay with the team. You think of Pace, who finishes his career with you. Michael Hova roaming out there for 5 full seasons in right field, a fan favorite. And then you've got guys like Forrest Hunt, Vinny Longo, Greg Moraz, broadcasters who move up just like players.
Yeah, and it's not just, and that's a great point. And last year, those that, were watching the Pacifics, we had Megan Castellucci, who is assistant general manager, reporting to Mike Shapiro. And she was sought out by Bruce Johnson, who owns the Napa Silverados, as a candidate to take on that job with an expansion franchise team. And she earned that job and that opportunity. And I'm happy to say that, she's moved up and taken that job. That's a big responsibility for a young woman. And I could not be more proud that she's in that role.
Yeah, and totally capable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a wonderful person who's got tremendous experience and a lot of vision, and she's going to do great.
Taylor, the 9th batter of the bottom of the 6th inning, the longest by a mile so far tonight against V.J. Patel. High fly ball left field. This is in the park. DeAngelis comes in and gives way to the center fielder, Marcus Bradley. And the fly ball to 8 ends things, but the Pacifics bring in 3. Well, Eugene Lapario, thank you. It's so good to get caught up with you. I just love you, man. After all this time, you're one of the good ones.
Well, thanks for having me, Stu. We'll do it again.
All right, very good. Eugene, thank you. CMCM's continued coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics will continue after this break. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to San Rafael Pacific Baseball here on CMCM TV. The score, Pacifics 5, Stompers 2, and looks like Beatty will return to the mound. 6 innings, 2 runs under his belt. First pitch misses down low, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beatty trying to keep this good start moving. 2 runs over 6 innings. And the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a pop fly. Foul. And out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The score, Pacific's 5, Stompers 2. Ethan Estrada, Stuart Horn, your Pacific's TV broadcasters for today's game. As Rob DeAngelis, the batter, steps back in. Beatty's pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The express down the middle for round number 1.
Now batting for the Stompers, number 8.
That is Beatty's 6th strikeout of the game, as Rayson Romero will step into the batter's box. Beatty has been phenomenal this evening, and with a long rest between innings, is able to come out. The first pitch, strike 1, breaking stuff, catches the outside corner, no balls, 1 strike. Romero 1 for 2. As Beatty delivers a slow breaking ball, catches the outside corner once again, called a strike by Rodriguez behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Romero singled in the 3rd, grounded out to short in the 5th, and that's a ball, misses outside for that breaking ball. Romero didn't bite, so it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Grounded out to Moreno, where he made a fantastic backhanded play in the gap between third and short to make the play. The 1-2, swinging a check line drive foul and out of play. The count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rayson Romero. Beatty, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. 6 1/3 and 6 strikeouts. 6 2/3 and 7 strikeouts on the night for Max Beatty, who has been electric this evening.
Stompers, number 4, Marcus Bradley.
So now back to the top of the order for the Stompers. It'll be Marcus Bradley. Bradley, the center fielder. Got to get my pipes warmed back up.
Well, it's been a while since you were here. We had that long half inning.
First pitch to Bradley, misses down in the dirt with a breaking ball. Ball 1. 2 outs, both via the swinging K. As Beatty trying to put an exclamation point on this one as he pours in a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. That is a strike 2. Beatty on the verge of striking out the sign for the 2nd time today.
And Stompers are into their bullpen, their 3rd pitcher, and Beatty's still strong.
Swinging a chopper over to Lunde. The first nice play. That'll end the inning. Another great inning from Max Beatty, who was having a really good night. That'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. 5-2 the score. Pacific's out in front.
You know, before we go to break, I think it's time for a shout out to our camera people.
Oh, yeah.
And all the CMCM people who are bringing this production. You know, you and I are here doing this. But those are the people who are running the cameras and producing this. Scott Calhoun and his crew doing a great job tonight, and I just want to express my thanks.
Yeah,
And to you, too. You're doing a good job tonight.
Thank you. They're making us look good.
We'll be right back, everybody, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics.
And welcome back to live Pacifics baseball here on CMCM TV, where the Pacifics lead the Stompers 5-2. The first pitch from Patel is called a strike. Fastball on the outside corner to Brent Gillespie, who was a part of that big sixth inning for the Pacifics, where they plated 3 runs, now 5-2 here in the 7th, as Patel pitches another fastball on the outside for another strike. Same results on the same pitch. The 0-2 pitch up high with a heater makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brent Gillespie walked, singled, and struck out. He's 1 for 2 today. The pitch, swing and a miss. Patel got him. Good looking pitch right there for round number 1.
Now batting for your Pacifics, number 3, Javion Randall.
So now Javion Randall will step in. Step in. He leads the team in batting average and is looking to try to get this inning started against Patel. Swings and a miss. Nice heater right above the hands for strike 1. So Patel came in, smothered the flame, has a nice sharp breaking ball right down the middle. Caught Randall off guard, makes it no balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch, another hard-biting slider in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Comstock like he's done frequently in this ball game. Makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes to Randall. The pitch. Outside with that heater. Evens at the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And you don't have a batting average over 400 unless you're seeing the ball really well, which in this case, Randall has been. The 2-2 misses outside, down and away with that fastball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That's exactly what you're seeing in this at-bat. Randall not swinging at anything he knows he can't get to. So now the 3-2 pitch from Patel misses up and in for ball 4. Great at-bat there from Javion Randall, working the walk.
I want to shout out to Tammy Estrada.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mom.
Do you know her? I hope she's listening. You're doing a great job. You see the athletes say, hi, Mom?
Yeah.
You know, when they win the Super Bowl or something? This is almost like that.
So now Zach Files will step in, and he takes ball 1 up and in.
All of a sudden, Patel can't find the strike zone. Not even close. He's throwing really hard. I'll give him that. But hard and wild doesn't get it.
So Patel will throw back to first base. Randall back there safely.
Files tonight has that RBI double and a run scored back in the 6th. Otherwise, a walk and a swinging strikeout.
The 1-0 swinging fouled hard back on a line to the backstop. Evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Patel so far, what we've seen of his arsenal, a really good fastball and a hard-biting slider. But he can't spot the fastball, so you can't use the slider. And the 1-1, there's a fastball in the dirt, misses, 2 balls, 1 strike to Files.
Well, you make a very good point. If you can't spot the fastball, you can't use the slider. It's very simple. You've got to not only have command, but you need to convince the home plate umpire that you know where you're throwing the ball.
throwback, but Randall back in plenty of time.
Otherwise, that slider, you're never going to get the call on it because the slider has such late movement.
And then you have those rare pitchers who can throw their breaking stuff for strikes no matter what and set up their fastball. And swing and a miss. There's the good heater. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This game is exactly 2 hours and 30 minutes old, and we are, what are we, bottom 7?
Bottom 7. And the 2-2 pitch from Patel. Swing and a miss. There's the slider. Got a good fastball, got a good slider, and down goes Files for round number 2.
That was nasty. So he's effectively wild. I always like that term.
So now here comes Staudinger. He's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch back in the 6th inning. As the pitch from Patel, Randall going. Throw from Comstock and plenty of time. Oh, man. Randall thought he missed the tag, having a couple choice words with the base umpire, Gary Frieders. But Comstock behind the plate has been must-see TV this evening. So that'll do it. 1 walk, 1 left on. No hits, no runs for the Pacifics. At the end of 7, the score is Pacifics 5, Stompers 2. You're watching live Pacifics baseball here on CMCM TV. We'll be back after this.
It's a 5-2 ball game, everybody, in the top of the 8th inning here on CMCM. Yours truly, Stuart Horn and Ethan Estrada, my trusty sidekick. We'll have Jake Moles on down the road, and then next Tuesday night is our next telecast on CMCM. 2 games next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Those will be live on Channel 30 here in Marin, Channel 99 on AT&T, and, of course, CMCM.TV streaming. Well, the book is closed on Beatty for tonight. Chris Mazza has taken his place. Beatty goes 7 innings pitched, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 10 strikeouts. Gave up 2 runs. The new pitcher is Chris Mazza. And the line on Mazza, he's 0-1, an ERA of 1.0 in 6 games. 11 strikeouts, 2 walks.
12 strikeouts.
Yeah, he just got another one as Cam Stewart comes and goes. And now here's Daniel Baptista, the big slugger.
That is one intimidating human being.
Yeah, he's a big, bad dude, number 44. And you know who wore number 44? Henry Aaron, the great one. There's a lot of guys you could call the great one. He certainly qualifies. Baptista batting .333 is 1 for 3 on the night. Hit into that crazy 5-4-3 inning-ending double play back in the 3rd where there was 1 out and the bases loaded. And check it, there were nobody out. Then a strikeout, and then he hits into the 5-4-3 after the batter before him, Cam Stewart, struck out looking. So just when the Stompers had everything going for him, it all ended very quickly. It's 1-1 to Daniel Baptista. 1 bomb and 5 driven in coming into tonight's action. And there's a called strike on the outside corner. Pretty nice pitch from the big right-hander, Chris Mazza.
Going back to that at-bat from Baptista, that you could say is the turning point in this game.
Yeah.
Stompers had the Pacifics against the wall and
bases loaded, nobody out. You're right.
fought out of it.
Somehow Beatty gets out of it and then has a great subsequent 4 innings. Baptista, even in the count, 2-2. Mazza goes old school with the stirrups, the stripes, sanitaries. It's all good. Fastball, and he swings and misses. Baptista's on his way to first. Gingras, as the ball gets past Gingras on the swinging 3rd strike, Baptista's aboard at first. The Pacifics cannot complete the strikeout. Mazza had it, but it gets through the legs of Gingras, goes to the backstop, which is some 60 feet behind home plate here at Albert Park, inordinately deep. And that allowed Baptista to get to first. He's not the fastest guy on the Stompers team, but plenty of time. And there's life in the Sonoma dugout. Daniel Comstock, the 4-hole hitter. He's 0 for tonight with a walk back in the 4th. Fly out in the 6th, and he struck out way back to end things in the 1st. Looking, I might add, 0-1 here in the top of the 8th inning.
You were talking about how far back that backstop is. It reminds me of the old Dodgers, how Dodger Stadium, how far back their backstop was. The ball could roll all the way to the wall, and a guy could score from second base.
Yeah. Baptista, the runner at first. There's one down and a strike. The little slide piece to Comstock. Mazza's being very careful. And, well, he should. 3 bombs, 14 driven in. A .325 hitter is Comstock. 0-2. Curveball, third base line, and foul. Just chopped over the bag.
Would be nice to get a Comstock here with Meimersdorf on deck, who launched one
He did.
to left his last time up. You wouldn't want him representing the tying run in this situation.
No, that's right. His last at bat left the yard in a hurry and a long way out of here. Comstock behind in the count, 0-2. Got him with the high cheese. Comstock strikes out for the second time tonight. 2 away.
Well,
Baptista remains at first.
instead of Meimersdorf representing the tying run, now he could represent the 4th strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, that's a good call. Meimersdorf, 1 for 3 on the night, but the one was a big one. A 2-run blast over the left field wall back in the 6th. United Market tail of the tape was 892 feet. Imagine that. There's a little bit of wind behind it. Meimersdorf cues one first base side toward the Budweiser dugout club. 0-1. Miles Williams is on deck. Chris Mazza, 1.0 ERA, stands in. Meimersdorf takes away. Well, it's such a crystal clear HD beautiful view from center field. These CMCM camera people are just nailing it tonight. Our first telecast of the season, and they are looking mid-season shape. Meimersdorf up the middle. Mazza backhands it, tosses to first, and Meimersdorf is gone. 1 to the covering 3.
For Sonoma, no runs, no hits, no Pacific errors, 1 runner left.
And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Pacifics
June 20th,
will send up 7, 8, 9 batters in Stodinger, in Gingras, and Ulande. Bottom 8 coming up. CMCM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Michael Stodinger will lead things off for San Rafael here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 5-2 ball game. And the first pitch is roped into center field. But lying in wait is Marcus Bradley, 1 away. Boy, that was one pitch, and he hit it very hard, Ethan, but Bradley didn't even take a step.
He hit it so hard that I didn't even think that ball had an arc to it. That ball was just a laser right off the bat.
There's no arc. It just has a flat side on it now. Stodinger absolutely creamed it. Here's Ricky Gingras. Good old Gingras batting .250 coming into tonight's action. Walked his last at-bat. As Patel delivers a fastball, and it's taken for a strike. Kyle Ulande is on deck. Gingras, a left-handed batter, takes a curveball upstairs, 1-1. Batting .250, he's only knocked in one runner in this so far in the season, although Gingras is not playing every day. Platooning with the Pacific's Lindsay behind the plate. 2-1. To Vijay Patel up at the top. To Gingras, I should say, from Vijay Patel. Up top of the mound, and he swings at the high cheese, 2-2. That pitch and that swing, more specifically, reminded me of the Pacific's great Michael Hoba. Hoba back in 2012 was the MVP of the league, had a 37-game hitting streak. The right fielder for the Pacifics, Michael Hoba. And I used to say, and have said many times, with great respect for the gentle Cuban, Michael Hoba, that he never met a fastball he didn't like, a high fastball that he didn't like. And that last swing by Gingras at the high cheese just absolutely reminded me of the same kind of swing. Here's the 3-2. And he goes after the high one. Patel set him up, and Gingras helped him out. 2 down.
By the way, Patel has been pitching. I'm surprised he wasn't the first pitcher out of the pen for the Stompers.
Well, and he certainly has the lowest ERA of any pitcher tonight. You know, Harris started with a 9.0. Then Wendorf came in with a 12.27, only faced 2 batters. And now Patel is looking at Kyle Ulande with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th in a 5-2 ball game. And is ahead in the count, 0-1 to Kyle Ulande, who is 0 for tonight. A couple strikeouts and a walk. And now he's behind in the count, 0-2. Ulande batting 190. Has 3 RBIs on the season. Don Andre Clark is on deck. And Ulande swings at a nasty slider.
Zeros across for your
And the Pacifics go 1-2-3, leaving Don Andre Clark on deck. Well, that was quick. We'll go 9. And batting for the Stompers here in the top of the 9th inning, and this is their last chance. They need 3 to tie and 4 to bring the 3 to bring the Pacifics back out on the field. Miles Williams, Rob DeAngelis, Rayson Romero, the 7. No, what? I'm way off, aren't I? Miles Williams, Eddie Mora-Luera, and then Rob DeAngelis, the 6, 7, 8 batters for the Stompers, and that's coming up when we come back right here on CM's coverage of the 2018 San Rafael Pacifics. Welcome back, everybody. Well, this is it for the Sonoma Stompers. Both teams 6-4 coming into tonight's action. Pacific's up 5-2, and we're in the top of the 9th inning. The first pitch to Miles Williams, a 300 batter for the Stompers. Under head coach Zach Pace, yes, that's right, you heard it right. Zach Pace roamed the center field for the Pacifics for 5 years. Defensive Player of the Year twice. Zach Pace, arguably the best center fielder ever in the Pacific Association, is now the manager of the Stompers, who won the championship year before last. But Pace was not with him at that time. So Zach has 3 championships as a Pacific, and he's looking for one as a manager. Williams in there, 1-2. Eddie Mora-Luera on deck. Long fly ball right field, and it's fouled toward the Pacific's bullpen. Coming over is Jake Taylor. Check it, is Brent Gillespie. Taylor's a DH tonight, oftentimes plays first base. Javion Randall came in from first base along with Brent Gillespie, but nobody could get to it. The bullpen really scattered, Ethan, as Williams stands back in 1-2. Did Tammy Estrada write and say she heard it?
Yeah, she said, "Love you too, son."
Ah, how about that? Slider away is taken.
But, of course, with some love from the mom also comes some critique. But if she loves you, she'll tell you what you're doing wrong.
That is love. Williams swings over the top of a breaking ball, 1 away here in the 9th. And the Stompers are down to their final 2 outs.
Geez, Mazza came in, and he's just locked down the Stompers' order. He struck out 4 out of the 5 batters he's faced so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. How about that? And all swinging, I might add. So these guys are seeing something. Eddie Mora-Luera batting 171 is 0 for tonight, 0 for 3. Fastball outside black, taken, strike one. Oh, that was a quality pitch right there.
And I think that's what helps. That's what's helped Mazza so far in this last inning and a third, is that he's able to spot that fastball with conviction.
DeAngelis is on deck, and there's a little slide piece away, taken, strike two. Nothing in two to the second baseman, Eddie Mora Loera. Mazza deals. He kept going away, chipping away, a little too far outside. And Ricardo Rodriguez said, nope, that's a little too far outside, 1-2. A 1-7-1 hitter. And now he comes back, but goes upstairs a little bit. Now it's 2-2. Well, Ethan's first night on television, I think you've done pretty good work. As he swings at a breaking ball and another strikeout, and Mazza is nasty tonight. 2 down. Pacifics have 1 out to go, and Rob DeAngelis, the 8-hole hitter, is making his way to the plate. A single back in the third inning, and since then, a lot of nothing. Stranded at third base, back in that third. But his first at-bat, he did rope it into right field. DeAngelis represents the last out of the night as he chops one to short. Rando Moreno is there. On to Gillespie. Game. The Pacifics will win it 5-2. 5 runs on 7 hits and no errors for the San Rafaels. 2 runs on 8 hits for the Stompers. No errors. And the loss tonight goes to Tyler Harris. And Max Beatty is the winner for the San Rafaels tonight. Beatty improves to 1-1 on the season.
Yeah, Beatty was electric tonight. His 8 ERA did not even speak close to how he pitched. He came out right out of the gate just attacking. And you could see that when he strayed away from attack mode, hitters started to notice that a little bit more, started taking balls, hitting at the good pitches that he was leaving over the plate. But once he started to attack, he settled in, and it was smooth sailing for Max Beatty this evening.
It's got to be a great feeling for a pitcher to come out totally aggressive and having everything work and the defense there to support. And he was fearless, absolutely fearless tonight, and had total command right out of the gate. So that 8.74 is going to drop precipitously very quickly. Want to thank our 2 nutty guests behind us here for hanging out. You guys are always welcome here. There they are, folks.
Hello,
hey,
world.
say I love the Pacifics.
I love the Pacific.
All right. Hey. All right. Well, a great night. I want to thank our guest, Eugene Lapario, one of the owners for the Pacifics, for sitting in that 9-batter 6th inning. I think it was, it was. When the Pacifics picked up 3 runs. Yeah, that was back in the bottom of the 6th inning. 9 batters and 3 runs. Eugene Lapario, just good luck. He sat in with us for about 45 minutes. We really appreciate it. Of course, next Tuesday night, it will be live on CMCM, and you can get there, cmcm.tv, and search for San Rafael. But we'll also be on Comcast Channel 30, AT&T Channel 99, 1 week from tonight and the following Thursday. For Ethan Estrada and everybody else, Scott Calhoun and all of the great radio and camera people associated with tonight's telecast, Stuart Horn signing off from Albert Park saying so long and thank you very much for spending your evening with us. The Pacifics win 5-2.